now.
He's trying to do the thing.
Nothing's stopping you.
Emotionally,
Oh.
yes. Physically, no.
All right. So last time, what did you all do last time?
Last time, well, we had a fun little sort of holiday thing. We showed the local neighbors how you do a fucking effigy. And then Gaddix apparently made a better one. Oh wait, he wasn't to blame for that one, that's right. A couple of blind ass trolls crawled in, smashed shit up. Got the shit kicked out of them.
I can see, and Bjorn could definitely see why it's such a popular holiday destination now.
And before that, Saloon's abilities and loyalties were tested thoroughly.
Also, we messed up a drow who was
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
around our house. Yeah. He did not have a good day.
He found traps going forward and retreating. It was great.
It's terrible. Now we're going to have to move them slightly so he doesn't know where they are.
I don't even know if that's going to matter.
I don't think he found them at all, because let me tell you. So, I technically roll everything with advantage, even if they don't have advantage. On all 4 of the rolls that ended up on the fucking roll, he rolled under a 10 with his modifier. He's dex-based!
Oh, that's nothing. Like our previous pirate session with PO and a bunch of others, like pretty much all of our rolls for the entire session were below 10s on the dice.
Jesus
Just
Christ.
everything. And of course, I mean, in the fucking troll battle, I wound up getting 11, 12, 13, and 14. In 4 rolls.
I mean, we can always add some more traps.
But so, yes. 3 of our party members decided to join the Harpers. Y'all battled some trolls. And you had a very wonderful night after the drow decided to leave and woke you up twice. So,
fine. He was an expected guest. Bjorn made him feel comfortable.
no, I don't think he did. I think that was the exact opposite of what he did. Now, it's morning. The sun is shining. Not really. It's actually very dark and dreary out there. Spring is not the most wonderful thing until it starts getting closer to summer here. However, you're up. You're starting to, get ready for the morning. And Uzana, you get a message. You can tell somebody uses a sending spell to give you the message. I'm Vajra Safar, the Blackstaff. Come to Blackstaff Tower and the Castle Ward at once. Bring your friends.
Yeah, not much of an invitation, but well, guess we know where we're going today.
It was a dreary enough day, Harton stepping about with his cup of tea, using the light spell on it. No need to light a candle.
Yeah, true. I mean, when you're a paladin, you don't really need to use one.
Oh, if only. My dual class, have my levels of cleric and then also the levels of paladin is perfectly balanced.
No, nice try.
Was it? I don't think it was.
I think it could barely be described as an effort.
Energy was expended. That's the height of it. Well, do you respond to them? It's a sending spell.
Mm-hmm.
You? Maybe she's thinking about it.
Well, what time of day is it?
This is bright and early in the morning. Y'all are in your PJs still.
Okay, yeah, then I imagine there's probably just the sound of wood getting sawed from Bjorn's room still.
Horok is making straight for the kitchen. It is time for first breakfast.
Although, yes, your sudden summoning is probably going to affect your ability to go look for that talking mare. Because the Harper mission was also to go find a draft horse that can talk.
Yes.
Oh, a talking mayor. Okay, I was about to say, what is so weird about a mayor that talks?
No, here's the thing. Sometimes, on a full moon, during the solstice, they can tell the truth.
Okay,
It's
no, that's just
amazing.
fucking bullshit.
So, yes, your day starts up. Pio, do you notify the rest of your friends that you have been summoned?
Of course, I've told to bring my friends, so I will.
Okay. What does everybody else think about the Black Staff randomly summoning you? Who here knows what the Black Staff is?
Are the kids here?
No.
Yeah, the kids are here. I would like to point out, Lou and Nadrax, you both are very aware who the Black Staff is.
Yes,
we
I
knew
am.
we knew one that didn't have affiliation to Waterdeep. We
Ooh,
think
no.
he was a Raphael bastard. It was
I will
this
explain who the Black Staff is any minute now.
It's
Yes.
on the tip of my tongue. It's coming to me.
It was this
Yep,
big
alright.
owl orc with this massive club.
Oh,
Probably
oops,
not
that
the
was
one we're
the-
thinking of, to be honest.
Considering that orc was also dead.
Aye. It's not always a permanent condition. I can tell you this as your local cleric.
I think he's going to wish, considering what we did to him, but...
We
Alright,
were
so
just...
for the
Only because we were Furrow kids.
for the two of our party members that know what the Black Staff is, all right, so basically what you know is that the Black Staffs, they reside in the Black Staff Tower in Waterdeep. They have something called, obviously, the Black Staff. They're the Archmage of Waterdeep, and you do know that the Black Staff, any Black Staff that dies in their role, which all of them do, their soul is actually transferred into the Black Staff to continue giving guidance to all the future Black Staffs. So it's Archmage of Waterdeep with 7 generations of mages to call upon for guidance.
Phenomenal cosmic power and an itty-bitty living space. Also, every few
Okay.
years, just because they have staff in the name, there is so much lewd penny dreadfuls being published about them.
And actually, Lou and Nadrax, give me a history check.
Oh, alright.
And you have no idea about any of this.
Not
Other-
a
other than-
What I'm
surprise.
here for.
You know the
You
name,
know
you know
about
for
the
a
Black
wizard.
Staff. So, Nadrax, surprisingly, you actually are aware of this one. You are aware that the very first Black Staff actually used to be the husband of the current Open Lord of Waterdeep, which is rather impressive considering this is several generations back.
Okay.
You have also heard that the current Black Staff and the Open Lord of Waterdeep do not get along.
The Open Lord of Waterdeep is who or what exactly?
Laeral Silverhands, a human wizard.
The big public face of the politics here.
Yeah.
Not so
And
much for
she-
ruler, just a public face.
You would also be aware she's also a chosen of Mistra. And yeah, generally she was a large adventurer before she kind of came to Waterdeep and settled down and switched to
Oh.
politics.
Okay, so she has kind of a case of not being able to die of old age.
Kind of a demigod.
Yeah, she is effectively, yes.
Well, at least it doesn't sound contagious.
I don't know, have you
So
ever
yeah.
read Greek mythology?
I shall relay that to the party.
Hey, it wasn't who you're thinking of. So you're getting to see a big, very big wizard.
Yeah.
Oh no. Wizard protocols. Didn't they mention dress code, did they? Just bring your friends, eh?
The black staff is kind of official, I suppose, and
The
kind
black
of
staff,
law and order.
the black staff is official. You and Pio would both be aware. Um, the black staff also controls the Force Gray, which is generally waffles with syrup and fruit is a good first breakfast. But
Or a good second fist.
but she orders around the Force Gray, which is allowed to operate outside of Waterdeep, but is not allowed to operate inside Waterdeep without the Open Lord's permission.
I'm mainly trying to gauge how wary Nadrax should be.
I mean, she's an official.
Force Grey being their tamed adventurers.
Yeah. However, I will point out that the Harpers did arrange for legal paperwork for you, so you are 100% legal up in the city.
All right.
Your actions, on the other hand,
least-
vary.
Yeah. I just appeared at some point. No birth certificate.
Well, that's not weird in the Forgotten Realms. They
That's-
arrange for all of your paperwork, and
That is not
Yeah.
remotely uncommon for adventurers.
yeah.
Yeah. All right. I suppose it is acceptable. I shall come along.
All right. So, are you all going to settle on down for a wonderful breakfast of waffles and syrup and fruit?
I am fucking wondering, Horik, why is your stack 3 times the height of mine? Come on.
It just looks bigger because he's small. You see?
No, I'm looking at it from table height here.
When you make breakfast, you can make your stack as high as you like.
It's just I don't want you slow and weighed down. Come on. It's only fair here.
I burn a lot of energy getting around. With my leg length, you have to move them so much quicker to get anywhere.
I mean, we can always throw you about.
Wouldn't that
I
kind of
agree.
hurt?
Oh no, not with Horik. Agile wee man. Always lands on his feet the better part of the time.
Isn't that a cat?
No, a
I
cat
think
always
it's
lands
just-
on his feet. Horik has slightly less reliability in that area. Mind you, he's usually
Oh.
do kicking when he's doing it. Or punching.
Oh, okay.
I'm guarding my waffle stack.
Every time someone even comes close to it, you just hear a growl.
It's
Give me a perception roll, Mark.
It's half the bloody height of you. Oh, well, I need a bit more than sugar for this. Hang on.
Perception roll, Hork.
Yeah, I was just getting it.
Oh.
Oh dear.
All right, so let me make sure that I have this set up. Hey, that would explain.
The macro to reduce your waffles.
So, Hork, you swear up and down you had more waffles than what you have now.
Is one of the kids' stacks looking slightly higher?
Well, it's hard to tell. See, you vaguely remember that Squidly had already eaten a waffle, and it seems he has the exact same number as everybody else now.
This is acceptable.
At least it's not.
Poltergeist.
Yeah, it's fine if it's living.
The kids, I don't mind. If somebody else is pinching my waffles, yeah, then we got trouble. Somebody mightn't get second breakfast, and I was planning bacon.
I don't know, let's see. As he goes round to refill his tea, a tap of his shoulder.
The Great Waffle Heist.
There's only one way I can beat that.
Yep.
Oh, someone distract him.
You got a sleight of hand as well. That creates a floating spectral hand. That's visible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You also
that's
have to
pretty-
say mage hand. It's verbal.
But you literally just say mage hand? What the fuck?
Or, well, you can
Mage
say whatever you
hand.
want, but it's a case of he has to say something.
Go, web, go!
Waffle
It's
grab.
chess hands. Waffle grab.
How are you doing
Horik
today,
just turns
Horik?
around.
Oh,
Oh! So, Lou, roll me a sleight of hand for your mage hand. Horik, you notice that Harton's trying to pilfer your waffle.
and there's also a hand in front of your face.
I used my fork to parry his attempt.
What's your passive perception, Horik?
12.
Okay, so I'm going to point out that while you're arguing with Harton about this, you notice the spectral hands coming in for the waffle.
It is
However-
stabbed the table with the knife.
Oi, oi!
However,
That's a new
It's a
table.
spectral hand. Yeah.
you do manage to notice that a waffle has yet again gone missing, and it wasn't from Harton or Lou.
Wow.
Well, I would never seriously try to take your food. That's why you caught me.
Is the kid's stacks getting higher again?
No, as a matter of fact, Nat and Squidly are giggling hysterically, and Jenks is just focusing on his waffles. He is, the whole thing is just a thing to him. But you have a feeling by the look of Squidly and Nat, it's pretty clear they know who took the waffle.
This is important family bonding.
Hey, you know what? I know.
This is training for the kids. They can steal waffles acceptably. That's fine.
Well, you know what? Here, you know what? Have one of mine actually. Here, I'll give you one off my plate.
I'm assuming this is wisdom.
This
I think you just
Well-
notice as soon as you touch it.
Yeah, it's one of those things where the minor illusion, I mean, it'll seem real, and then, the second you go to put your fork into it, it's going to be fairly obvious.
I start glaring at Lou.
I'm sorry. I'm not a very good chef. Sorry.
This was an open declaration of war.
While you all are enjoying your ever wonderful waffles and you're having your argument, there's a knock on the door.
I'll get it. Alright,
Okay.
who's up for the morning? Mind you, it's a
Let
bit
me
of a
pull
walk. Let's see here. So, common. That's a common room. Sure, we'd be eating in.
Heart and stack might be one less now.
He took it with him.
Oh no.
So, Bloop, there is a fellow at your front door.
It's not a front door. That's the front door of our business.
Oh, yeah. Well, I assumed you'd be eating down there since the kitchen's down there.
Yeah, fair enough. It's a bit of a walk, though. We've really got to knock in one of these walls and put some stairs in. Alright, good morning.
Alright.
What about you?
Hello there. I take it you're Harton?
Aye, Mr. Glenbrook. Well, Father
Hi there.
Glenbrook, depending.
Father Glenbrook. I'm Jolaster Silvermane. May I come in and speak with you folks?
Actually, with a name like that, certainly. That's the first reasonable one we've heard for a while. We're in the middle of breakfast, though, so grab a seat. We'll get you a plate.
I've already eaten, but sure, I can grab a seat. And he
I'll
does,
get you a
he
couple
enters
at
the
least.
building. Appreciate it.
So, Mr. Silvermane, what can we be doing with you?
Yes. So, I will point out, some of your exploits as of late have reached the ears of people who are certainly interested. I wanted to inquire, are you all planning on staying in the city for very long? I know 2 of you are residents of the city already, but the rest of you are new to town, yes?
Oh, aye. Although, I mean, we're intending to stay for a week. We've got a fair bit of jobs ahead of us, although if you see glances outside at where all the fucking troll marks were, Seems someone wants us out, potentially.
Oh, that actually was not just, and he is saying this to you. This isn't out of character. That wasn't just outside of your residence. It happened actually all over the city in short little batches. That was a rather systemic problem.
A weird one,
In
though.
It happened down in the docks, Castle Ward, Sea Ward. It was a bit of a mess. The guards did certainly clear it up, though, thankfully. Thankfully, we are very well trained and we do know how to deal with trolls. Waterdeep is certainly seeing some interesting things as of late. And he pauses, he thinks of how to phrase this. How many of you have heard of the Lord's Alliance?
Slight passing. Weren't anything we were able to get involved with, of them being, ruling body types. But we done work for those who work with them.
How about anybody else? Is anybody else aware of the Lord's Alliance?
Hark is
Would I
confused.
be?
You probably would be. Anybody who thinks that they might be aware, give me a history.
Bjorn, you would be.
Well, probably through through the
Exactly.
military.
Yeah. So give me some history rolls real quick, just to see how much you all know.
I know they exist, and sometimes they were the one who employed us, but I think that's about it for Bjorn.
Yep. Exactly the level of integrity.
All right. So for everybody that rolled except Lou,
Oh, hang on.
you're
I
all
forgot.
vaguely. Oh yeah, and Hart.
might as well.
Yeah, please do roll.
I've said my
Martin?
piece.
You know that they're a thing. You just haven't the foggiest idea. You can't really.
I
grasp
know him
who
as a
they
name
are.
that's above what we've been hired by.
Yeah. Everybody that wasn't Lou, you are aware that the Lord's Alliance, sometimes called the Council of Lords, it's a partnership of merchant cities on the Sword Coast. The big players are Waterdeep, Silvery Moon, Baldur's Gate, Neverwinter. Mostly it was used to kind of band together, form a network against outside influences and outside groups. For instance, you know that generally they tend to be against Luskin, the Shadow Thieves of Thay, Kalimshan. Generally they tend to be friendly with folks who are at least trying to do good, and they're trying to protect their cities. And they do hire adventurers from time to time.
Indeed.
Mhm.
Quite an
And
important
Lou,
bunch
yeah.
of adventurers, in fact, were hired.
Mhm.
Sort of.
And Lou, you are aware of most of that. And you do know, yes, they're very certainly respected in the city. So, anybody want to tell him that what if they're aware or not, or does he need to explain?
I'm all ears.
Yeah.
Well, mostly, I've come here to offer for those of you who do at least call the city home, membership in the Lord's Alliance. Now, I will specify to qualify, you do have to be a citizen of Waterdeep. Of course, when you all came in on the boat, you were made citizens of Waterdeep. Those were those lovely forms you had to fill out. However, if you're only planning to stay here just for a little bit, I would say that technically doesn't mean you qualify. It would be somebody who has roots in the city, or somebody who at least is going to consider Waterdeep home when they leave.
Well, that's a stickler then.
You have property; those are definitely roots.
It's just, there's a few wee bits going on. I mean, our trip here was meant to just get a bit of knowledge done, but then seems to be going a bit further, and I mean, we've got a house now, we've got kids. I suppose that's basically putting down roots in a way.
It's been a precious 3 days.
It really fucking has.
Actually, this is day 4.
Well, it's beginning of day 4.
Mhm. Y'all have been very, very busy.
For 3 months before I found out Gatix's surname. Back when we moved into Red Shale.
So
Hmm.
that would be a considering factor on, of course, joining if you're wishing to join the Lord's Alliance. There is some other factors, namely, if we do give you a task, we do ask that it's done as promptly as possible.
Keep that in mind, most of you.
uh, any jobs we give aren't necessarily things that can be put off. Usually they need immediate attention.
3
But the
months
most
later.
important, and it's one of those things where you can't just refuse it. This is an official organization of great importance. Now, I
How
will.
long does the invitation last? Can we join at any time, or is it just now?
You can always come find me. I spend a lot of time in the Yawning Portal. I don't expect you to join right immediately. You could take a little bit of time, think it over, and then you could always meet up with me. Just within 2 or 3 days.
I mean, within 2 or 3 days, who knows? We might even be owning a whole city street for how things are going.
We can all run for mayor as one collective group.
But the invitation is up to you. The most important thing is that whoever joins needs to have Waterdeep's best interest at heart and will continue to do so. Now, I will point out that this doesn't mean that you're tied to the city. You don't have to stay here for the rest of your lives or anything like that. However,
Like, Harden is putting a
It's-
quizzical expression behind Jalister as he looks at Bjorn and that. Like, he was saying you kind of need to stay in the city and put down roots and all that. Is he not just contradicting himself?
no, he said that you need to have roots. And if you leave, you need to consider it home. You didn't have to stay. It's not like you're shackled
Yeah.
to the city. It's just you have to be Waterdeep first. Particularly in this current climate. Things have been getting far messier than anticipated.
Hey, these applications have been a wee bit messy too. Been asked by quite a few.
Oh? Who all?
We just got an invite to a big fancy one, Blackstaff, today.
Mm-hmm.
I imagine they're probably going to be asking for words like that as well.
Roll me an insight.
Doop-doo.
You can tell when he says that. He gets a momentary, he has a facial flicker where he has opinions on that and he keeps them to himself.
And then, although this was a lot less formal and all, I did get to talk to a garden about rooting out some scarecrows out in the fields.
The Emerald Enclave?
Aye, the greenies, aye.
Oh. Well, they're quite pleasant people.
It's just, a lot of, feels like they're trying to pick us up, one by one.
That does tend to happen when you're adventurers who show particular potential, would be the correct word.
Is there like a labor shortage of adventurers at the moment?
Oh, this is Waterdeep. There's no such thing. Usually
And
we
yet
have.
here we are.
It's the flip
Oh,
side.
no.
They're wanting to make it official sort of thing. Know
Well, you
who's
see,
doing what
here-
for who.
Well, more specifically, you forget there's a lot of adventurers. We don't have a shortage. What we do have is a shortage of reliable adventurers.
The ones
I
that
can
aren't dead
understand
yet.
that.
Hold on 1 second. I'm trying to steal a blanket from a cat.
Can think of one
Oh.
batch of unreliable adventures that were hired by the Lord's Alliance.
But there we go. Yay! I've got it back. Well, the cat's pissed off at me. If anything, we do tend to have a large amount of adventures, but their motives aren't always fantastic. You come with a good recommendation.
How do we manage that?
Oh, I'm betting on the wee Never Ember lad.
That would be correct.
He's a
He
good
has been
sort.
speaking to quite a few people on your behalf. But either way, please do think it over. I should be. You usually find me in the yawning portal. I tend to spend a lot of my time there. If you guys ever open up this place, I might be spending a little bit more time in here as well.
Hey, we'll see about that. We finally did get a troll skull at least.
I've noticed. And I did see. I happened to be there in that little incident when you first were there, and that troll came out of the Undermountain, and you helped Durnan take care of it.
I'd say without much ego that we did the bulk of the work.
Well, to be fair, you all were there, and there is enough of you. Durnan is very capable. I wouldn't sell him short at any rate.
No, he looked handy.
Very nice man, and reliable.
So far, no need to question that one.
Well, do you have any other questions, or if not, I can be on my way.
I'm sorry, you lot.
I'm good for now.
Anything from Gaddix?
Lou, you can join up, become part of every organization.
Oh, God. He's looking through his membership cards, going, "Who's here?"
Which one gets me the free waffles and the coffee?
Yeah.
Was I supposed to hole punch this? I hope not.
I mean,
He's already got waffles.
I'm a Freemason, a guild artisan, but I am most definitely not a communist.
He was very careful with his
hang on.
photos as well, so that it looks like a flip book of him just rolling around.
The head just rotates.
Yep, rotates with a smile.
is there a Lord's Horde as well?
No, just the Lord's Alliance.
Well, I think at the moment it kind of appears we have a lot on our plates at the moment, so I think we'll take a few days of consideration.
Hey, some
Very
have
well.
more on our plates than others, for fuck's sake, Ori. Come on, share.
and he does give a little laugh at that, and he gets up and gives a little bow. "Oh, I'll be on my way. You all have a wonderful day."
Hey,
All right, I'll take it.
And he takes his leave, and away he goes.
I suppose I don't need all this. Here you go, Jinx. Have one on me.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Harton.
No problem.
Wow, you're
Right.
getting everybody asking you to join up.
Hey, I expect the door to be knocked in a few moments too. He gives a glance.
Roll-
And
roll
then
me
he
a
uses
D100.
then he uses thaumaturgy.
Oh, is anybody gonna get that? And then Squidly bolts up. I can get it!
On you go.
He runs to the door, he opens it up.
I use
And there's a
thaumaturgy to
squirrel.
close it.
Oh, you close the door on the squirrel. He said, "Hey, the squirrel knocked on the door. Why did it shut again?"
Bloody squid. Hang on. I'm right. I was only goofing about.
When you open the door, there is no squirrel.
Oh, he's a sneaky one, this one.
It ran away. It was like,
Oi!
fuck, the door slammed shut on me.
Do I see the squirrel running?
Over and there's the squirrel eating Harton's waffles.
Nope, it's just over. You can see the squirrel on the other side. It's got a nut in its hand and it's trying to eat the nut. But
Oi!
it's looking over at you, like, what the fuck?
Aye, he just calls out, "Oi, come on then, you got a message, right?"
Squirrel's eating its nut.
It might not have a message this time, it might just been a squirrel.
It continues eating the nut.
I'll test it out. One of the uses of thaumaturgy is you can make certain sound illusions. I make squirrel noises. You can do
Kind of
Hmm?
it bolts erect and it's looking around like, what the fuck?
I think this is a normal squirrel.
I think so.
Nice wee thing. Hope the cast don't get it.
Gaddix gives you a helmet. What's it saying?
No, we're not doing that. No. You put that the fuck away. That was evil. We had to move twice.
Said we can only do that a couple of times.
First, there were the cats you clued us in on, then the rats. I'm not doing the squirrels. They're more organised.
But so yes, now you have another invitation. You have an invitation to see the Blackstaff, and you have to find a horse named Maxine that can talk.
And the Lord's Alliance potential.
Because that's a normal thing that people look for, yes.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'll accompany on a meeting if any of you are applying to the Lord's Alliance, but I've already got my card full. I'm committed to me wife and apparently a garden.
Mistakes were made.
Well, how many do you think we're going to be needing to meet in with the wizard?
No. Look, I know she's probably going to be saying lots of big syllable words, but if you just nod and smile, you should get through it.
Because the invitation did say bring your friends, not some of your friends.
Hey.
Well, it sounds like they've got it handled. Gaddix walks away.
Oi!
You're one of the friends. You're coming.
I make sure to close the door on him before he gets there.
Just slowly turns the head. Just...
Turn about. We'll get ourselves rinsed, washed. Hey, you kids want to come along?
Sure, Mr. Harton. Do you think we can?
Hey, we got you all tidied up.
Okay, let's go.
Yeah, might as well see it. Just remember, of course, we're going into a wizard's place, so no touching. And no touching that I might not catch you on. Understand?
Okay.
It might be nice. You've never seen the place, right?
Yeah, that's true. You usually can't go into places like that.
Hey. Be a bit of a laugh. Oh, I've got to wear that fancy thing again, don't I? Balls.
No.
No? Abby Dozy, alright.
I mean, we're going to a wizard tower, not to a fancy party.
It's a big official though, isn't it? Tell you what, I'll comb the third trim, that'll do it.
Alright.
I'll give it a brush and a styling. It'll look fancier than the wolf I pulled it off originally. Alright, well, he's waiting on. Everyone get prepped. Come on. Move.
Let's go.
All right.
Let's just get me sword.
Now remember, don't go throwing a hissy for it when I tell you to hand it in. We don't want to cause problems. We want to solve problems.
Well, what if we solve problems we caused?
I was expecting that when you joined up, aye.
Well, that is solving problems, but it is also creating a problem in the first place. So it's just problem equilibrium. We're trying to reduce the amount of problem.
See, she's one who knows about this thing. Equal and opposite reactions.
Ah.
It's like that wee thing Gattix made for her on a wedding gift. Just had this idea that Gattix made her a Newton's cradle for a desk.
Yep, that sounds like something I could make.
Can you make a jet-powered Newton's cradle?
Well, it's because he didn't want to make the toaster.
Yeah, the cradle's so much like... Yeah.
I had enough spare metal, it didn't take much effort. Here you go, all the thought I could put into this, yes.
Look at that, I made these ball bearings myself, yes. Yes.
I was up all night thinking about what to do. Then 5 minutes later, I made it. Off we head.
Came to me in a dream.
Right.
And then I forgot it in another dream.
All right, so, and I will switch it up so that you can look at the city map. Otherwise, y'all are just staring at yourself.
I mean, I can think of worse things to stare at.
So, let me make sure, is this on the correct overlay? You can see where it says Blackstaff Tower, yes?
Aye.
All right. So yes, off you all go, and it's a fairly nice walk to get down there.
Jesus Christ.
It's a bit of a it's a bit of a pace, yeah.
All right, kids, remember to pack up 3 days of rations.
Oh, this would really suck if I was walking myself forward, Kago.
Now, I'm also going to point out something. So you see that, and then you see from here to let me get the measuring. This is me going off on a tangent, by the way. You see all the way to here to the yawning portal, yes?
Yeah.
I'm going to point out that when Chris Perkins explained this, he said that was 12 blocks. Is that 12 blocks?
Somehow we did this in a day.
She's
like 3 miles.
Yeah.
Someone go convert this.
He said that was 12 blocks.
11,700 feet. What does that come out to in miles?
It's like close to 2 miles, I think.
That's not bad, actually. Yeah.
That sounds about right.
Half an hour to an hour of walking.
Yeah. Okay, that's not bad. But yeah, that is not 12 blocks.
Yeah.
Yeah. An hour of walking, probably.
2 miles? Nah.
I mean,
yes.
with traffic and everything, not running, just a regular normal.
Yep.
Mhm.
Probably
So-
comes.
Yes, you do head on down.
We also keep our eyes open for a wagon with just a mare on it.
I actually ask any wagons I see if they know a wagon with Maxine.
If only
He's just
only
talking
Gaddock was
to
the other kind of
horses.
gnome. He could talk to woodland creatures.
Yeah, I'm not that kind of gnome. Sorry,
Yep, you're a heavy metal gnome.
that's my brother. Oh,
Roll me an investigation if you're going to be just asking passersby.
Just the wagons as I go by if they know one with Maxine.
Yep. So give me investigation.
I'll give you a hand for advantage.
wouldn't that be something if Gaddix had a brother who's literally just the flower child?
Gaddix,
Hey.
you gotta understand, man. You gotta stop relying so much on machines and be part of Mother Nature, man.
Metal is part of nature, but you make it crude. You saw off her glorious shapes and make it useful. Yes.
I am
You-
Meladix and I speak for the trees.
You do find one. You do find somebody who says that while they're not 100% sure, they think they know who you're talking about. Maxine actually is not running the car all by herself. She does have somebody on it, but they're fairly certain that if you want to find her, she'll be in the trade ward today.
Okay.
Oh, we're fucking nowhere near it. Well, today. We've got a day.
And it's not too far from the
Aye.
the Blackstaff Tower. I mean, it's.
We'll take a wee walk around, maybe hit up the market, you know.
We could go to
Actually,
the. We could go to the
we'll be
fair.
wandering past some of the.
Oh,
no,
hang
not
on, hang
quite.
on. Sorry, wee man, but a suggestion was just made that intrigued me. Go on.
Well, I mean, if we go down to the trade ward, so that's right next to the dock ward, we could go out to the docks, and then we could go out where the Sea Maiden's Fair is set up, and we could go see all the stuff that's out on just out there.
I think we've got a day's activity planned here. I must say, we could probably do with more sort of violent pain work, but I do fancy the idea of a fair. How about you, lads?
Might be some interesting things there.
I mean, it's so long as we don't get any pressing issue from the Blackstaff. Of course.
Of course.
And of course, we try to
Hey.
find Maxine on the way.
So why are we
Oh.
looking for a talking mare again?
Ah, they were just told to.
Does anybody remember why the Harpers want you to find Maxine?
Yes.
Ask her about
Yeah.
theorem operatives. I think it
Yeah,
was.
about the spies.
Okay, just wanted to check to make sure somebody actually remembered why you're looking for Maxine.
Wait, so we're looking for a talking horse because the horse is a spy.
Well, that's the thing. Did they tell us a reason?
Yes. They said that it was to look for to see if
No,
they
no,
learned
no.
anything
I'm
about.
talking about you three that are with the Harpers. Do you tell us the reason? Because Harden is all in this just for finding a talking mayor. That's interesting.
We mentioned we're looking for information. We didn't. Well, that's all I said anyway.
Well, it's more like since it's a mission for the Harpers, you can infer that the horse is probably spying on something.
Hey,
Yeah, I feel like the Harpers are kind of common knowledge that an average person would be able to be like, yeah,
especially since we live
Probably.
together and talk about it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Hey.
while you are bickering about this, Lou, you hear a whistle.
Oh, I wonder what the chances are that's for us.
Pretty high at this point.
Well, I'm going to point out, Bjorn, you hear him say that comment, and you don't hear anything, and you don't hear anybody calling anything. As far as you know, the drow's gone batshit.
They'd expected it.
Yeah.
Think about it.
Nothing out of the
Bjorn.
ordinary.
Think about
Well,
Bjorn.
at this point,
We
at
find
this point,
Maxine.
they're just a-
Aye, we find Maxine. We can get the info right from the horse's mouth. Hey.
Let's not make that joke to the horse. I probably heard it before.
That's why I'm saying it now.
You hear a couple more toots of the whistle, Lou.
Oh, actually, look around now. Is there
You
anybody on
don't-
the rooftops in the crowd?
Not in the rooftops, but you do see down one of the side alleys, there does seem to be a hand that kind of does a little wave and then goes back down into the alley.
Well, I'm just going to wander off from the party now.
Oi,
Yeah?
got lost already? You're of a local.
Oh no, I thought I might have saw something over there, so I'm gonna go look for it.
Uh-huh. You know where we're
How
going,
much do they
right?
have to drink?
Right. You see that? As he just points in the vague direction that Squidly told him to point. We're going that way, remember? Blackstaff Tower?
It's just one alleyway. It's real quick.
Alright. We're not
Torbjorn
stopping.
Torbjorn just mouths, take me with you.
Oh, that would be perfect if you did, because he's trading this for mooring time with elves. It's Bjorn's favorite thing, to spend time with even more elves.
So many elves.
He hasn't realized.
Yeah, at this point, he's
He's
just
no idea.
desperate for any excuse not to have to deal with fucking wizards and their talk.
This isn't even Bjorn, this is just Scotch. He's become a self-hating wizard.
No.
So, Lou, you start down the alley, and you go into the little section where you had seen the hand. There's nobody there, but there is an envelope with your name on it, sitting on a box.
I'm not worried about traps at all. Just pick it up.
Okay, you pick it up.
And then he died.
Is that on your Tinder profile?
The letter does smell faintly of lavender.
It's a trap.
One wears lavender except for traps.
And grannies.
Yeah, okay. You know what? I'll open it up and read it as I walk back to the party.
It's written. Wait, let me make sure that I.
It's written in a language you still can't read.
No, that's what I want to make sure we avoid this because we are aware of this.
This time Dwarvish, just to rub it in.
No, he doesn't speak Dwarvish.
Exactly. Just
Speak
another
Draconic,
language
though.
he doesn't know. Every time he gets a letter, it's a new language he just doesn't understand.
I'm surprised
Actually.
he doesn't know how to read common. He can speak it, he just can't read it.
He probably got smacked with a wooden spoon in the halfling home.
That sign can't stop me. I can't read.
The only thing he can read is halfling, and they haven't realised that bit yet.
Magic spell goes a long way to cover for him.
Yes.
One moment. I can't fucking spell. Holy shit.
HOLYSHIT.
I'm surprised Lou does not know comprehend languages, just so he could, how has he been getting along? Yeah, he's just faking it this whole time.
Yeah, just bluffing.
Your DM has what is said in the letter, and it is written in Draconic.
Yeah,
It's
I
up
can
to you.
read.
It's up to you if you actually want to share with the party.
Well, I could read it.
But he has to share
You
the letter,
could.
though.
Yeah.
If he doesn't want to share it, he's probably going to stuff it in his pocket before he gets to us.
Yeah, but I will
That's it.
I'll tell the party when I
That
get
says
there.
reveal, by the way. It's not revel,
Huh?
it's reveal. I can't spell.
Okay. Okay.
Revel your
That's
knife
weird.
in the back of this man.
Do a jolly little jazz hands. It's just stab him.
So, are you going to tell the group what you got?
I'll rejoin the party and I'll tell him I have decided that I will join the Lord's Alliance because I'm a local.
Okay.
Didn't you also say yes to the wine lad?
I am compelled to say yes to everything all the time.
It's going to get you in
That's not
trouble.
very good.
All right,
Hey.
someone, he's detect magic. Someone, I think he's off his rocker.
I don't think it's anything magical.
Will you give me your boots?
Oh.
Which
Oh,
is
so
the
he's just an idiot. Okay.
Aye, that's a disappointing thing.
That's anticlimactic. You're correct.
Would have been a cool little investigation, but no.
Is this,
He's just fucking stupid.
does it perhaps have the signature of, say, a feathered hat that's laughing?
It doesn't have a
Oh.
signature.
I mean, that would be a guess that you could make that would probably be accurate. Yeah.
Oh, it just seems like his idea of, I'm going to get him to sign up with everyone.
Well, they can't all kick me out.
Oh, they can. Well, you will see that. I'll take you. Tell you what, I'll take you around the garden some night as well.
As someone who's been a member of several guilds, yes, they can.
Oh God.
All right. Are you all going to continue on?
Hey.
Then very well, you do reach the Blackstaff Tower. You do notice that not only is it an official tower for, official business, but it is actually a full wizard school inside of the tower. Fortress and wizard training academy all in one package.
Ooh, I've got a feeling I could lose my wife in this place.
Uzi, it is a quite lovely place. You have a feeling you could get lost here. However, once you arrive, you are asked to state your business. You do mention, I assume somebody mentions that you were called here by the Blackstaff.
Aye, I'll let Uzi handle it.
Yeah, we were called here by a talking horse. I mean, the Blackstaff, yes.
Talking horse?
He weren't the one that got the invite here. It's me, lovely wife it was.
Ah. All right. Yes, hold on one moment while we once we verify that, we'll send you on up.
All right, thank you very much.
Guys, for
You
fuck's
do-
sake. While the guard's still in earshot, just for fuck's sake, what are you saying that for? You always cause a fucking scene, full volume.
He shuffles away, and then after not very long at all, immediately comes back. All right, the Blackstaff will see you now. Follow me. And goes to lead you all the way over to where the Blackstaff has her office.
The Blackstaff will see you now, yes. Yeah.
Hey, you've read that book, haven't you?
It's just a weird phrase.
Yep.
All right. And when you all are let in, you actually see something rather surprising. Usually when you're thinking of, all-powerful, important arch-wizards and that sort of thing, you're thinking, somebody in their 50s, 60s, a little bit of gray.
Probably spoiled rotten as a kid, prestige, no real consideration of a common man.
Well, contrary to your expectations, Vajra happens to be in her mid-30s, and as far as you can tell is, fairly young. She's not, looking like she's overly aged. And for somebody in a position like her, that's actually quite impressive.
I immediately suspect fraud.
She gives you a polite nod. Come on in, please. I'm glad that you came so promptly.
Well, you gave us the message. We're told to come promptly, and so we did.
Important
She
enough to
does
speak
look
to...
She does look mildly surprised at the children. And she just goes, "Oh, I didn't expect the little ones to come." And then Squidly just kind of peeks up and says, "We're just here to come along. We're not going to cause any problems, and we know not to touch anything because we know better than that because magic things."
Never know, one of them might enroll once they get a bit older.
We weren't supposed to touch stuff?
No, we fucking weren't.
No.
The kids understood that, Lou. Why did you not?
I can explain.
What did you touch?
What'd you do?
Well,
As we speak to our fourth child.
Guys, just looking him over. Okay, hands aren't glowing. That's good.
Yeah, I do recommend, yes, you don't touch anything.
Alright, it's just an
No,
enrollment
you
leaflet.
didn't eat anything, did you?
I would never eat something.
Did you accept anything you were given?
Oh, given is a strong word for what.
Oh god, I just picture he's like a dog. What's that in your mouth, Lou? Spit
Alright,
it out.
He's just going to look at the black stuff. We accept responsibility for these kids, not this one. This one's a grown adult, funnily enough.
I forget how old is Lou?
He's youngish for a child, like what is it, 70s sort of, I think.
So he is still a child. He is literally a child. No wonder Jarlaxle is willing to give you so much like leeway room. You're still a literal child. You're the age where Dritz could not get his shit together.
How has he survived this many years? Oh, halfling
he was a
household.
child.
Dirty.
Yeah.
It's just dirty.
I was gonna say halfling luck
Right.
might have something to do with it.
Well, he might be having two left feet, but he's so practical for getting this stuff up on the tall shelves.
Yeah, because you're about the equivalent of a 16-year-old.
Alright, so we are responsible for him. Shite. Barton's 37, incidentally. Which still puts him at one of the youngest in the group, I think.
Yeah, by
Somehow.
actual ages.
Yeah.
Yeah, looking at that. Yeah, how old is Horik?
I'm not sure. He's just he's a young adult for halflings,
Like 20 to 40.
probably around there somewhere. He
Gabbix,
doesn't know.
probably like in his
dates or
90s.
something.
But
Bjorn,
she kind of-
249. He's got 2 years left in him.
I mean, Bjorn was 8 years in the military,
Yep.
so you know that's a short stint.
Well, the
But,
human
yes,
militaries.
Vajra
Yeah.
does kind of look a little puzzled at this and gives a little nod and, well,
It's alright, we'll sort that one out later. So, nice to meet you.
it's a pleasure to meet you all as well. I've heard lots of very good things about you from my friend.
And would you believe it's only been our 4th day here?
Yes, I would, because actually, Renair did tell me about that. He's a personal friend of mine.
He's just a wee chatterbox, isn't he?
You
mean, I
haven't
like
been
him.
in Waterdeep very long.
Hey.
To be anybody, you need to make sure you know a lot of people and have a lot of friends.
Hey,
He's quite good at that.
If you want to get anything done, you got to know a lot of people as well, but those are guilds and not your mates.
Okay,
Well-
so I think so just what's your thing? I think Bjorn is around 62.
Okay. There we go. So we have
That's
a
fair.
nice age range.
Yeah.
Nadrex
he's-
is around
He's-
20s.
Yeah, he's normal age.
Yeah.
Oh, what
He
about
only lived
Uzana?
to be 80.
Yeah, what about Uzana? She in her 3rd century?
Maybe.
Just kind of stopped counting after the Hunter cycle.
Probably around 100, maybe.
Yeah, it's hard to ask a lady your age when it's gotten to 3 digits.
But even when it comes to the guilds and things, The guilds are always run by people. Either way,
Uh.
it's helpful to know who's in charge of individual sections.
It is. Just a wee bit different from what we're used to is all.
You'll adjust, no doubt. Adventurers tend to adjust to Waterdeep relatively quickly, assuming they're willing to not break the rules and get themselves in trouble with the law.
Don't worry, we've been reading that down. You've all been reading that, right? Good.
Well, either way, I was looking to see if you'd be willing to give me some assistance on some small matters.
Aye.
The Blackstaff does have some limited reach in Waterdeep. The City Guard does the City Guard things.
I should hope.
Well, we've seen
Sorry,
evidence of that.
I'm going to point out that our Alexa started having an absolute fit there for a moment, so I had a moment.
City Guard, quickly flushing it. The fuzz are coming.
But I do have some limited abilities to, for instance, hire adventurers and operate not in the city of Waterdeep proper, but my area of control is outside the city walls, or, depending on the situation, underneath the city walls. I was looking to see if potentially you'd be willing to assist with some small matters that we have. Not necessarily something that, for instance, my Forces Grey would be really suited for, but I think you all would be more than suited to assist if you are willing.
I'm just wary I'm going to be here in sewer system.
No.
All right.
It would instead be, how apt are you all when it comes to, say, cave systems?
Oh, he's a born natural, this one.
Oh, I love
Aye.
those things.
Not you, Lou. We'll find out with you. This one, though. Real tunnel fighter.
Grown up in some of the deepest mountains out of Richhill.
That's dirt over there, isn't it? They have slight molehills.
Aye, we're a bit more to the north of the mountains. Come on, Bjorn, come.
Well,
You're
if
in
you'd be
Battlehammer
willing to...
territory. Come on, for fuck.
I don't fucking know what the geography of the Forgotten Realms are.
You are in Battlehammer territory, kind of. You're
Well,
also...
it's just a joke that in Red Shell there was maybe a hill. So it's just no fucking north, mate. North, come on.
Well, if you'd be willing to assist Waterdeep in a couple little matters, I would appreciate it if you could seek out Lam. He's a monk that lives in a cave on the side of Mount Waterdeep. If you could ask him what he's heard about threats to the city, but do try not to annoy him or overstay your welcome. He's, we're talking about a recluse.
Yeah, Harton is giving a glance over at the party now.
You do have to consider he is a monk that tries to live in solitude in a cave outside the city walls.
Harton looks at himself as well in the reflection of his armor. Right.
How are we a group that is suited to this task?
It's alright. We've got me wife. She's very matter of
What's the
fact.
name
She'll
again?
get...
What was the name again? Vlam.
HLAM.
Oh,
Vlam.
Hlam.
Why do they do
Oh,
that?
okay.
We gotta go Hlam on this.
Lamb.
Hey, at least it's not a flume.
There's a flume. What else have I got here? I got another one of these names. Bromus, Soul Tool. Yeah. Subtle. Felton.
I mean,
The nice drow dude.
well, I mean, his real name is Belric, but yeah. You have Saloon Zabridas.
Mm-hmm.
Who was Bromas Sultlulu?
Who was Bromas?
I'm trying to remember now.
Was
So-
that the Harper guy?
No, that was Mert.
Yeah, that was Mert.
Mert.
And then there was...
I think Bromas was something to do with you guys. That's why I didn't put a note on it. Ah, well, we'll find out.
Yeah.
If I wrote that down, I definitely spelled it wrong. So
Well, yes,
I don't
but that's
know.
these fucking names.
I've now considered I don't know who Bromas is. He's not in my list.
Oh, it was just an NPC, I think you were introducing.
And now I'm trying to remember who that
Is
was.
the
'cause I
guy
don't-
from the troll that helped with the
Oh
troll?
yes, I guess because I don't have a token from him. Okay, yeah, no, that was the troll guy.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you for reminding me. Thank you, because he wasn't on my fucking list.
Not a real person.
He was a noble. Yeah, he's literally a 2-bit noble that showed up. What?
No, not
Oh.
really important. What did he
Yeah.
do again?
He was the one that came running out of the alley screaming troll.
Yeah. He was an early warning
It-
system.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mentioning that if you open up the tavern, he's going to give some good words considering you all saved his life.
Yeah, influencer.
Oh.
Oh, I'll pay you with an Instagram post.
That's
dude.
what a minor noble basically was.
That's going into the description then.
Yep, in the
Influence.
notes.
Paying you an exposure. Yeah.
No, Zord will pay us an exposure,
Influence
just not
controls.
ours.
So, are you willing to assist in finding Halam?
Sure.
Aye.
Do we
Thank
have a
you.
vague place where to find him?
Yes, he's on the he lives in a cave on the side of Mount Waterdeep.
Moon. Well, aye, alright, I've got it. So while it's
Which
caves, it's
side
high
is
up.
the cave on?
It'd be the left side. We're talking this where's my ping?
Like on the
talking
cliffside
about, like-
outside the walls, yeah.
Yeah, this area is here.
Need to get ourselves some decent climbing gear, though.
It's a
Nadrax.
definite rope.
This is an area that you are familiar with because there are caves that lead on down to Skullport out there. You have an inkling you could probably assist getting the parties there.
Yeah. I had a feeling.
Hey, so we just find him, tell him you want a chinwag? Or something specific you want to know?
Nope. Just ask him if he's heard about any of the threats to the city. If you wish, you could come back and report, or you could always just, send me a letter or a sending spell.
Not really got one of those just yet. I did have before, but the sea voyage took it out of us a wee bit.
They tend to be a little bit unpleasant sometimes.
Getting rusty on the deck. No worries though. Alright, we got this handled. Don't really want to bring it up. Is there a minor monetary reward or anything? Or is this just a wee favour?
It would be a favor, but I can come up with a reward.
It'd be nice of you. It's just we're trying to get the bar going and all that there. Do something hang on the wall or just mop the floors, that sort of thing,
Silver apiece?
Oh, there's a
Okay.
guarded look, but from Hearten to Bjorn, like fucking silver.
But does that include the kids?
It does not. I assume you're probably not taking the kids to go climb some rock walls.
If we are, will you pay them?
You're gonna learn today, son.
I mean, there's no bad time for a kid to learn some rock climbing, but we'll see.
Very well. If you wish, that can include the children. She looks amused. She clearly does not assume that the children are going to actually do it, but yes, she'll pay you.
Little does she know.
Harton is a very responsible parent.
He is, but he wants his kids to
Silver
do
is a
things.
thing that exists.
Yeah. He's an
I still
outdoorsy
can't
dad, though.
believe- wow.
I'm just trying to get them paid.
Yeah, silver. Fuck.
Even the kids probably look up down their noses at that now.
I
after
know,
all the
Harten's
gold
been
we
paying
get.
them in
This is-
gold.
Gaddix is cheap, but damn.
Roll an insight on the children.
Hey, sure. Give a look. We will look over my wains.
The children are still excited at this prospect of getting paid.
They'll learn.
Yeah, I'm the cool uncle who got him each a silver piece. Haha.
You're like the elder brother that's just on the couch.
Spent all my silver on weed.
After he, for the third time, had come back from college after saying, yeah, you know what, it just wasn't for me.
You're the first kid we didn't do too well. We have hopes for these new ones.
He always smells funny.
I think that's a drow thing. They always smell of the underdank.
God damn it.
Or maybe it's because he's eating too many onions.
He always smells well seasoned, like him and Horik.
Lots of garlic.
So you do notice she kind of gives a little bit of a nod and, well, do you have any other questions?
Nope.
All right. Then my associate's out there and you see the person who's at the door opens and they kind of give a little wave. My associate will lead you on out. Don't hesitate to come back and have a word if you ever need it. We're always here to assist.
Alright.
Certainly.
So we're not at the point, so we'll just need to ask for a wee appointment or something?
Yes. Depending on the situation, I might not be immediately available, but at least one of my associates will be.
Alright, but at least it's something doable. It's not a case of, like, we get here and say, you should have showed up at an appointment, and how do we make an appointment? Well, you go inside and make an appointment.
Oh, no, none of that.
Oh, thank fuck.
Oh. And with that, you are led on out. Now what are you going to do?
Well, at the very least, it's a good excuse to get out of the walls of the city and back into the fresh air.
Been a day.
No, it's been 2. You forget
Barely.
the last one. Yeah,
Like
your
what?
holiday.
Yeah, we spent one whole day in the city, and the previous day he was out in the fields.
Mhm.
Yeah, but that's not like, that's still, like, too close to the city.
Hey, well, let's see now. We can all go for it. Who's got climbing bits? Hammers, pittons, bit of rope. I have that shite.
have rope.
Got the explorers pack. I might.
I have the Dungeoneers pack.
Yeah, same here. Dungeoneers pack.
I have a really cool hat.
Which I think, like, a
No,
lot
I've
of
just
the
got
packs
rope.
comes with pittons and rope, I thought.
Yeah, the Dungeoneer one does.
Yeah, so we've got, if 2 of us have Dungeoneer packs, we've got it.
Mhm.
Plus, I'm sure I could bullshit.
Yeah, you could build a
Something,
mountain.
yeah.
You could build a climber's kit.
And
Yeah,
if-
it's like, I literally have the ability to, like, make any tools, so, you know.
And not to mention, I mean, if you're still going to the trades ward, you would be able to easily buy something there as well.
Eh.
Yeah, maybe they'll sell it for a few silver. Just, I ain't a cheap bitch.
Kind of on our way. Certainly easy to get through the walls that way.
Well, the only thing is you want to get over on this side of the wall, which...
Ah, that's what I'm thinking. So we go to the trade ward, go to the dock ward, get a wee boat.
Mhm.
Because there's no gate in this side. Oh, there is, but we'd need a boat still.
Uh,
No, just a wee one. Just a wee boat. You can close your eyes, think of the ground.
Oh, it's worse if you can't see.
Just imagine you're rolling about on a nice lawn, you know? Bit of dew. That's all the wetness is. Just morning dew.
Madrax,
Yes.
roll me history. Hmm.
Yikes.
You think that is a perfectly valid option, you know, the boat. You kind of remember you used to take another way, but, you know, it doesn't come to you right now.
Although
You have a
elevation.
feeling that
Yeah.
you have a feeling they're not going to go over the walls. There was a gate. You think that there was a gate that was easier to get up onto the cliffside, but you can't think of it now.
Yeah. This side. Probably not too well traveled by him.
No, you actually have used this section quite a lot. This was one of the ways that you came in and out of Waterdeep relatively frequently over here.
Alright then.
Or we jump down the hole of a yawning portal. There's bound to be caves that link up to that one.
All the kids freeze up and just go, no.
We fight our way every step. Through hordes of monsters. He's picked up Squidly at this point. Past scores of the unknown dangers and traps. Now he's got Nat in his arms. And let's not forget those deep, mysterious ruins and traps and treasures as he picks up Jenks. Or we'll just go down to the dock ward.
I like that option better.
How many arms does he have?
Well, in fact, he skips up one in the crook, and the other crook, and then with the hands.
Does he realize he accidentally picked up Lou?
Treasure! Yeah, that sounds cool, Harton.
For fuck's sake. Right, you slide out so I don't drop the kids. Come on.
I'm very slippery, as you know.
I don't need to know that. I don't want to think about it in any context, although Zord probably would.
Do we need to dunk him in the trough to get him clean again?
He knows you as Lou the Pliant.
Oh, no. I don't have that much money.
Right, to the trades ward.
All right, so are you going to be buying more climbing supplies, or do you think you all are relatively set for that?
I think we're probably set for it.
I don't know. I might as well spend more money.
Okay.
Let's see. Climber's kit. Yeah, sure. I'll buy one of those. I don't know how to use it well. Doesn't matter for tool proficiency.
Yeah, not really for.
It's...
Oh, right.
Yeah. I'd ask for a loan, actually. I've only got 20 free gold.
Yep, and it costs a grand whopping 25.
Oh, I'm gonna haggle.
I should have putzed around that Blackstaff library a little more.
I know, love, I know. But, I mean, we've got got kind of an open invite back, so, you know.
Well, do you think we can go back and look for, a scroll of spider climb? I might be able to use that.
Oh, this makes me skin crawl, that one. Scroll spider climb, probably. I mean, it might not be as, like a back and forth trade commerce thing. You'd probably have to take a few courses before they'd let you get in there. But it's a good time. You can wet your beak intellectually around that place.
I was more hoping to get one so I can, copy it in the book.
I know that there. It does take a wee while. We should have
It does,
asked.
but I think... well...
You
You can ask when we get back.
You should have brought it up, love.
It just slipped my mind.
That's alright, that's alright. I don't worry, we'll do. But there might even be one of that wee library and whatnot. Anyway.
No, I have those spells.
Okay. We'll have a wee check back then. So anyway, mate, I want this fucking thing and I need it now. But it's a little bit scuffed.
The merchant just kind of gives you a side eye. None of these items are scuffed.
I mean, I'm looking at these Petons and they're not that polished. It's a bit of a rough finish. Bjorn, that's a bit of a rough finish, isn't it? As a smith.
I've definitely seen better work. Better work's done.
These aren't even dwarven made, are they?
No, they're human made.
Oh, well, that explains it. That's
yeah,
not
exactly.
25 gold's worth.
25 gold he's asking for this, I know.
And the gloves, and the harness, and the boot tips.
The boot tips now, you see, they're going to be pinching my toes. That's not going to be all that comfortable. I've got very large feet. And it's attached to all the rest of the large stuff.
Give me a persuasion.
And what are these made of? Are those cast iron? This is cast iron.
And Bjorn, you get to roll one as well. You get a separate one though. I'm not letting you ride off of Harton's persuasion.
You're gonna fucking sabotage me. You're pushing it too far.
Yeah, I have -1 persuasion.
I know. Why do you think I'm? Holy fucking shit! Nope. As a matter of fact, Bjorn, he's not liking. He has an inkling you actually might know quality. Now he's second guessing the stuff that he's bought because it's not like he's made this.
This could be some Zent imitation for all he knows.
Well, how about 20? Will 20 work for you?
Good lad yourself. Coins already down, swaps it away.
He's looking baffled as shit. Like he's not sure if he just got hoodwinked.
He's just blinking his eyes slowly.
Just think of the amount of places they've done this.
May you all have a good day.
Certainly shall. Good luck, mate.
Get yourself a better supplier.
You know what? This is actually pretty nice now that I come to look at it.
It's probably worth 30 gold.
Just the
Yeah, just the door closes.
Yes, the crowd. Yeah.
Well, no, this is an open air market.
Once we're right
And
in
you
earshot.
should
Oh, this is pretty nice, actually. Really good stitching.
So, if you all are looking for Maxine, give me another investigation, this time with advantage. Because you do already know roughly where she's operating.
God damn it.
That's bad.
12 is not enough.
Auric and Lou, it's up to you.
Got this,
Of course.
guys.
There you go. I like your optimism.
Yee.
Auric, that's not enough.
But he draws
Lou.
equal with the guy who's actually good at this.
Oh.
Why'd they invite all three of us? We can't find a horse in a market.
Gaddock,
I love it because I was gonna be like, oh, Lou looks lost. I'm gonna help him. And then,
Gaddock.
never mind. No, I'm not.
No. No, Gaddock. You see, here's the thing. With advantage.
Oh, because I have a +6 in that, so pretty good at
Yeah,
it.
he did roll with advantage. He got a 13.
I know. Like, what the fuck, though? It's a D20.
So, Gaddock,
8
you
rolls.
notice while
None
you're
of
looking around, Kago approaches one of the mares and just sits and then goes bork, bork, bork.
I walk over to Kago.
Why are you making those noises? I've got to fix you, don't I?
You engineer that to make that sound?
And you notice that the mare is looking down at the dog and then looks up at you and down at the dog and looks up at you and then kind of looks straight ahead like, oh, I'm a horse.
Wasn't one of y'all looking for a pony?
She gives you some side eye immediately.
Hey, but I don't know Nat's
Yeah.
birthday yet. Oh, it's this thing.
We were looking for Maxine.
You see the horse kind of looks at you a little bit, and the rider just goes, "Aye, this is Maxine."
Oh, that's great. We were.
Is
I look. I'm trying to see if are we sort of out of the way so not everybody can overhear us.
I feel like that's why the horse was giving me side eye, but Gaddix does not know tact.
Auric, do you need a wee bit of a distraction with the driver here?
I don't think that's the problem.
question. I supposedly Maxine knows there is going to be a Harper agent asking for her.
All you were told is you need to find her and ask if she's learned of Zent operatives.
Using any means necessary.
Meanwhile, you do know the rider is getting ready to tie the trying to pull the dray off to the side, trying to tie it up to the side. I was just ready to pop on into the the pub and have a little tinkle.
Okay. Let's bully the horse.
Hey!
No,
No, you stupid human. It's pronounced
Bjorn.
tinker. I'm a
Bjorn.
tinker. No.
He said pub.
Hey.
Keep him in there for a
Yep.
wee bit.
You do notice that there is a pub, and he does go into the pub. It says, if you're looking to go somewhere, I don't think I could take all of you. I certainly cannot take all of you, but
No, it's all right. Nice wee place.
oh yeah, pretty nice.
Let's get a wee bit of hydration. Come on, kids.
Yay, all right. And in they go with you.
And he
Yeah,
of course, he gives a look to the three who are meant to be asking the horse questions. Don't fuck this up.
Do you know who you are talking to?
He specifically looks at one of the three.
I plan to be very quiet.
I move over to the horse and says, "We're asked to see if you knew where the Therum agents operatives were." Quietly, just
Zentarum.
Yeah, Zent. Yeah. There you go. And finally, she kind of looks around a little bit. She speaks. How do I know that you're somebody I should be talking to?
You gotta tell me if you're a cop. You've got badges, by the way.
Talk to me now.
You've got your Harper badges and your special Dakota
Where's
rings.
the money? Where's the money?
Who are you lot? Who are you with?
We were asked by the Harpers.
And Lou just leaning back. That's complicated.
I
Is
am
this-
supposed to be here.
Are you on behalf, or do you work with the, or are you Harpers yourselves?
We
And you
are
can-
Harpers.
You can tell-
Bum.
Roll me a persuasion to see if you can make her believe you.
Oh dear.
Not good at this. No, I'm not.
That's
Lou.
probably not an advantage.
No, Lou.
It's all on you.
Should I pull out my secret recorder ring first?
Probably help.
Yeah, flash the badge.
Yeah, I'll flash my badge.
Then he ends up showing off the eye patch.
And then
Oop, oh,
roll the
wrong
persuasion.
The persuade. Wait, no, that's 17 because I can't go below 10.
Okay.
And Gaddix just excuses himself. He needs to go get more alcohol for Cargo. Yeah, sure. Any excuse. Yeah, I'm going in there.
Somehow, Lou, you managed to convince her that you are, out of everybody else, she's not sure if the rest of them are Harpers, but she's fairly sure she fucking believes you.
She trusts the drow.
Somehow. Exact one she probably shouldn't be trusting considering the other boss. But, she does say, I do remember something that's possibly related to, the Zent operations. I gave a ride to a sun elf and a half-orc bodyguard 2 days ago. I picked them up, I'm not sure what the intersection was, but it was in the middle of an intersection, and I dropped them off at the Yawning Portal. They were talking about hiring spies to root out Xanathar Guild hideouts in the city. And she does give you a description of the 2 individuals she took. She took and dropped off at the Yawning Portal. Give me Nadrax, you actually would not know either of them. But Horik and Lou, roll me a let me try to see what would that
And
be.
if you fail, somehow one of them was Lou.
Roll me an insight on that one.
God, I can just picture this as Gaddix walks into the bar to get some alcohol, just looking over his
Oh.
shoulder.
Jesus Christ, guys!
Like how the fuck, he's just wondering how the fuck Lou gets away with this shit.
I've got this bad feeling, Bjorn.
You're
Got
not
this sinking feeling.
You're not exactly sure who they are, but maybe if you see them again, you'll get a insight recognition, flash of recognition.
I mean, she
You
said
got-
a sun elf and an orc, right?
It was a sun elf and a half orc,
Okay.
a
I'll stand
female
back.
female half orc bodyguard,
Yeah, half elf and a sun orc. Yep. Yeah.
and also you could always, of course, once your other party members come out, you could also give the description to see if any of them can recognize.
Are we even going to
the
get the
individual.
descriptions from that?
That's why I said half elf and a sun orc, right?
Yes. Yeah, half-elf Sork. Gotcha.
Yeah, it's a half elf caster. I don't see the point.
The
They're-
insight
you know.
was just for if they could, put 2 and 2 together with a face.
And they
That's what I
couldn't.
said.
No.
They could not.
Did it have a nose? Yes. Yeah, that does sound like a face.
In their minds, there's a Guess Who board with all the faces still up.
So yeah, so what are the other what are our 3 Harpers doing while they're waiting for everybody else to come back out? Are you gonna go back in or just wait till they all pop out?
We should probably say goodbye to Maxine, be polite, ask if she wants an apple or a carrot.
Oh no, I'm quite full, thank you.
Oh,
Alright.
yeah, have fun.
Have a great day.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Uzana
You
just
too.
standing there watching them in this debacle.
It's definitely something interesting to watch.
Yeah, as this concludes, Gaddix just walks out with like a clay jug, just looking like, what the fuck? Puts it in the back of Cargo.
Everyone nicely hydrated again. Let's step on out. Uzi, my
So-
love. How'd they go? Let me see your notes.
Are you all going to actually explain what the what the descriptions are.
Yeah, just the basic ones we got.
I'm going to mention it to them and ask whether they remember seeing somebody like that in the yawning portal.
Hey,
All
Bjorn tried to
right.
pull that one.
Everybody else, give me an insight.
How many
Remember
ones
the
do we get
female
in a row?
half-orc?
You do remember a female half-orc, but the question is that the female half-orc? Harton! That is the female half-orc. The one that you all saved in that little fight.
Bjorn
That
was
was-
trying to put his moves on, by which I mean a grapple.
Well, she was the one that was.
I know he
working
tried to show his
alongside.
he tried to show his wrestling techniques in front of her. That's a mating
Yeah.
that's a mating signal for Bjorn.
So yes, you have a strong suspicion that what's her? I have to go back over check to make sure I remember her fucking name. Yeah, Yagra Stonefist. You're 90% positive that is the half orc. And considering she was in the middle of an argument with some Xanathar members, it kind of makes sense now. However, you have no idea who the Sun Elf is.
Can never tell the difference. I just know the high elves are for some reason sometimes blue. Not a nice shade like Uzi here. A weird shade, doesn't suit them. You're looking radiant, by the way. But
Thank
aye,
you.
Bjorn, bad news, mate. She might be a bad un. And not the fun bad un.
Let's not get too hasty. She could have just got in with a bad crowd.
And then I look at Lou, the local. The one who's probably been at the yawning portal more than the one time the party have.
Lou, you are familiar with Yagra. And she doesn't cause, trouble in the yachting portal. She's there quite often. Tends to be keeping an eye on things, but as far as it's not like she's, running around busting kneecaps.
She's not
Yeah,
been
another-
witness stabbing
another-
people in the alleyways.
Well, if a tree falls.
Yeah, she could just be an informant, that's all.
And actually, roll me an. Let's give her perception for this one.
To who?
Lou. Only Lou, because he's been in there.
For fuck's sake.
But he's also been
But-
drinking there.
Yeah.
I'm busy, yeah.
She meets with people sometimes there. I mean, theoretically, she could have been meeting with a Sun Elf down there. Actually, she's probably met with quite a few Sun Elves. You just don't know if it's, meets the description of who you were thinking.
Well, we have a lead. That's a start.
Well, that's good. I mean, you can make it a wee official report thing. Did he tell you who to do that? Because I'm not going back to that fucking opera. It's probably still going.
As a reminder for everybody, Mert did say just pop a letter in the post for me. Or you could pop by his house, either or.
Where is his house?
He did give you the address, I believe it was in the C word, off the top of my head.
Okay, so far away from where we're going.
Momentarily.
Or you could just, or you can just, pop a letter in the post, either or.
Actually, not that far away.
However, the children are now that everything's been settled, mentioning again, you said that we could go to the carnival.
Aye, that we did. That we did. I wouldn't disappoint yous. So, you lads want to get your message done? We'll head that way.
Yeah.
Ow.
Just a quick note. We know the name and the place.
Name, place, and then the description of somebody else.
Now we know we've got to get a wee boat out. Probably a bigger boat, actually. You know, a
What about
proper
the big-
vessel, Bjorn. Something to actually ride on the waves.
Oh, no, please.
We're going to be up against a cliff face as well. That's where it's going to get tossed around like a fucking storm no matter of a day.
Well,
Can you feel it, man? The blessings of Valkyr himself. He's got his arm around his
Yes.
shoulder, of course.
I will point out, all of you are smart enough to know that you're probably going to have to be in rowboats, just because in order to get close enough to the cliff face, that's the only thing that'll do it.
Aye, but he's winding
Oh.
up. Can you feel it, mate? The blessings of Valkyr himself guiding us on this. I've got a good feeling about this. No doubt the roaring waves will trim off some of our climb. They'll be that high.
One word,
Oh.
mate. If Valkyr is not gonna make this a smooth ride, I'm tossing you off the boat. That's the first thing.
You
Yeah,
can
let's
try,
not
I'll
leave
keep-
port without forgetting our blessing.
You can try, I'll keep a hold of your beard and I'll work like an anchor. Right. Carnival. Because apparently this is a party city where everything fucking happens. I thought the holiday was yesterday and then the parade were the day before.
It came at a good time.
Apparently so.
Clearly, you have a house now.
Okay. See if I can get myself a stuffed animal for my wee woman.
2 hours and 5 gold later.
It's only 3 pins. How am I not knocked him over yet?
Sorry, pal, you missed.
Hey, good luck,
you
pal.
missed, pal.
You missed.
So yeah, if you're heading on down to the docks, so
Limp it up the old pitching army.
there we go.
Present the girl with a Cupid doll.
Actually, it'd be more like, there we go, because it'd actually be lined up along the streets.
Although we'll have to go up into the more expensive areas if I want to scratch a tucker.
But yes, heading on down, it's pretty clear. You can see actually where 2 boats are tied up along the docks. There are a bunch of other boats are tied along the dock as well, but there are 2 in particular that are out there that are more than festooned. However, as from what you can tell, that's actually not where you're supposed to go, because all along the roadway is actually a bunch of little carts, little display stands. You have people, a bunch of carnies kind of set up their wares, and you have everything from musicians to, acrobats doing some pieces.
Someone walking past with a dyed blonde fucking rat tail.
You don't really see much when it comes to actual, like games per se, but you do have some magic shows, some, sleight of hand. You have a magician or 2. This seems to be mostly the carnies have set up and they're doing their own little things. And you only see 2 different animals are set up. You see the owl bear out there in his little cage. And you do see your Axbeak.
Ooh. But
Well,
I've got Jenks with me, so of course we go to the owlbear first.
he's pretty.
I got a fine look to him. Probably a mean look in the eyes, though. It's hard to tell. I've not seen a whole lot of them. Do you know much about owlbears?
Oh yeah, they're really awesome. They can be very mean though, because they're owl bears. But if you train one to be nice, it'd be nice.
Hey, you hear that? If you train one.
Fuck off.
I'm able to throw your own words back at you.
I was waiting for that. I was like, does he? Does he? Yes, he does.
Roll me a D100.
5.
You notice as y'all are talking about that, the owlbear turns around and it kind of like does a scraping motion on the ground, like it's trying to dig something out of its thing, and it kind of splatters all sorts of muck all over you, Harton.
It's alright.
Revenge.
Ooh, that smells.
It's alright. It'll only be a wee moment.
Prestidigitation.
Thank you, my darling, my love. I was just about to call for you. Even though she's standing right beside him. Like his arm is on her.
Equivalent to the mom getting the tissues out of the purse. Hold on, I got some wet wipes in here somewhere.
I'm usually alright with animals, but then again, like, this one's been through a wee bit. Probably got a wee bit of a temper, not being able to run about.
Yeah, I mean, living on a ship like that's probably weird for him.
Hey.
And you can see the animal handler kind of pipes up. Oh, they have actually a fair amount of room on the ship. He likes to stretch himself out. He's just in a bit of a pet right now.
No worries, no worries. Got a name for him?
Yeah. That's all Birdie. You see, there is a name. I ain't going with that one, so I'm going with Birdie. I like Birdie better.
Something like fucking Floon, is it?
No, it's somebody else had another name for it, and I don't like that one. And that was the first one that was like, no, I'm not using that. So Birdie. His name's Birdie.
It's Pufflesworth,
No.
the second.
It's Birdie.
It's Fluffles Chuff.
I see
Flufflechuck,
your little boy there has also got himself a little owl bear. And Jenks says, "Yeah," and he holds him up. It's like, "See, almost like that, but a lot smaller because I'm small and I can't carry an owl bear plushie that size."
Aye, but this one's always friendly though.
Yeah, and he doesn't do that to Mr. Hurton. That was rude.
Yeah, it's alright.
And
He's an animal.
yeah, the handler gives a little laugh. Yeah, that's about right for because he's a wild animal. It's not like we're training him to do tricks or anything like that.
Oh boy, I can feel it. And that's Uzi. I was just thinking. I mean, we could do with one. It would really brighten up the apartment.
Mhm.
I'm just a wee bit torn. My new mate Zord, like he was saying, like he knows places where to find the eggs, and if you raise them up like Owlbear or an Axebeak or something bigger, they'll bond with you. There won't be a problem. And I'm good with animals. I mean, I trained that goat to only step on Bjorn's toes, no one else's.
You're not letting him do this again.
It'll be a
see the animal. You do see the animal handlers looking very interested at you. Oh, you're familiar with the boss then?
Oh, aye, we've met a few wee times. Mind you, he's more familiar with the kids here. He's known them longer.
No, the captain's a nice man. Not surprising. He likes to, keep an eye on the children, give them a couple coin then and there.
He's a real gregarious sort.
Oh yeah.
Lots of giving him, lots of show and panaff. He really made a real display on the local ones up where we are with the toys and the wee tricks and all last night. Before the trolls rampaged about.
I was rather glad that I was actually on boat for that.
Yeah, apparently it happened all over.
Oh yeah, there was one actually, as a matter of fact, went down Ship Street for a little bit, and Ship Street, by the way, is literally just right behind you.
Yeah.
We could hear the screams from the boat. We all stayed put. All of our sailors got up and they were lining the deck and kind of keeping guard.
But
we're not.
He made a wee offer, not even a promise or anything like that there. He might clue me in on where some of these lay themselves. Just in case, I mean, think about it easy. Like, it's a wee sort of domestication study. Think of all the information you'll be able to find out about their attitudes and how they change and the distinct personality quirks of one individual beast. He has said this to her probably about 30 times on various cats, dogs, a bird, 2 ponies, and a Shetland.
But won't that interfere if we accept that task where we have to drop everything and go and handle the duty?
I mean, you can.
I trust you to handle the animal, but do you trust any of the others to handle it if you're away?
I can handle it. And that was Jenks. For once, he actually decided to throw his hat in the ring on something.
There's an immediate ruffle of the hair. That is a vote of confidence as he looks at the rest of them. All right, then, let's take a look here. Bjorn, maybe actually he could probably, if it's got a foul temper, he'll probably bond with it better than anyone. Lou, chew toy in the making, I think, there. Nadrak's probably, I'm thinking private, if that thing's got his territory, then so does he. They might not get along. Horik, be nervous at first, he'd be riding it within the week, probably. He'd be all about that. The Gatix would be trying to make one of his own out of metal. It would just be a sheet thing, though, draped over a cargo. He's a lazy cunt that way.
Nothing from Gatix.
No, he's not going to dignify that with a response.
Well, he's not really saying it. He said it to the missus and the kids. And you, my sweet thing. I mean, we're always together anyway, but I could rely on you, obviously, right?
Right, but now what if none of us are there?
Leaf might be trainable as well.
Would you be willing to do that training as well?
I probably fucking have to if he tosses anything else, but... Besides, there's training for the home and then there's training for activities, We don't have to just sit and roll around on the carpet.
Just making sure you're seeing this fully through with the eyes of a responsible owner and not the eyes of a boy who has just seen his first puppy.
I can do both, can't I?
You can, but both need to look on the situation and understand it.
I know. I definitely do. I mean, you know me. I'm a responsible sort.
Finally, the animal handler does speak up and just says, "They are an awful lot of work, particularly when they get bigger.
Oh, I'm a hard worker. No worries there.
Although it does take some time for them to grow up. So I mean,
Hey,
it would be a lot of training before they start getting really big and destructive."
even better than that as well. I've got 3 wee kids here. I can train them to be not vicious. You see, this is practically a perfect situation here.
Yeah, I mean it's just an owlbear. I mean, it's not like it's a death dog or something. You can't train those.
Aye.
Our death dogs and that giant vulture are not friendly at all.
That would almost be a challenge.
No, it's not possible. We've already tried.
It's all right. It's all right. I'm not too keen on the double-headed dog. And the vultures are. I'm not really like. I don't like flying birds, but I'd have to pick, wouldn't I? I couldn't have both. I couldn't raise both, could I? I probably could, but I couldn't. I'd have to defer, wouldn't I? I mean, the axe beak's a lovely thing. We could put a saddle on and take it out on the weekends. Could do that with the oil bear as well, though. Oh, it's a tough one. Mind you, it's not like he's guaranteed me he knows where they are or anything like that. Anyway, we should actually be doing things. I'll talk with Zord about it sometime.
Oh, you do. Who knows? You probably will run into him up in the city, or at least maybe one of the captains. Who knows?
I could do both, Uzi. I mean, I'm a very responsible man. I'm a very active one.
I know you're very active, but that works against you in favor because you might not be home.
Oh, plus, because I'm talking with, the Green Bunch, the Emerald Enclave and all. Like, that's bound to be a bunch of dudes. They could probably help out a wee bit there.
That is true. They could help.
So we could easily.
But you also definitely have to toss your hat in with them. Would you be willing to sit and listen to the flowers every, 3 days, 4 days?
If I had you with me, aye. Otherwise, I'd probably
already killed the scarecrows for them.
Aye, it's a wee bit less formal that way. Sort of do us a wee solid here. But you know what I mean.
Did we actually solve that problem, or did we leave it alone after we found a couple?
Well, I mean, Bjorn left the contact information for you all, and the farmers have not gotten back into talk.
Because they're dead. We stirred up the scarecrows. They were only maiming at first, but now it's escalated. Now they possess the combine harvester. The situation's solved. Which means, love, with a little bit of assistance and all, could do both. And I mean, if we find ones that are like, forlorn or abandoned, and we're not really harming nature that way by taking them in and raising them our own. We're taking them out of nature where they'd just be a corpse, It's a good deed in a way. And he is going on like this for a bit. This is very much the boy who saw his first puppy. But now he wants
We can talk about it when we get back. and you gotta decide which of the two you want more of. The axe beak or the owl bear?
I know, it's just like...
Owl bear.
Exactly, I mean, I kind of say no to that. Look at that wee face.
And do we have a place for them to sleep?
Aye.
My room.
Well, no, I was thinking about Horrick's room.
And do we have someone to make sure that they are cleaned up after?
I can do it.
If you get it, it goes in your room.
No, bro, no problem at all. Actually, no, that would be a bit of an issue. Bjorn's room will do.
That is not gonna happen, mate.
You'll bond with it. Like, Bjorn, you're always the one of, we're not getting another goat, we're not getting another sheep, we're not having a mascot in the squad.
We are not getting another goat because it ate my fucking pillow last time.
Broke his heart when we had to leave that goat behind. He loved that goat.
It was the best day of my life when that fucking goat left my life.
He were weeping, he was. He's a big softy. Don't let the rest of the exterior fool you. He's as pliable as his beard is when it's not dry outside or when he's not got all kinds of shit in it.
Fucking goat even somehow ate my can.
I had a mist tin before I met that goat. All right.
4 boots.
Alright, looks like it's a wee bit early for the festivities, though, kids. So, we've got a wee...
The festivities are going on.
Oh, they are? Okay. I thought you said they were just sort of setting up.
Well, no, they were set up. It's just that it's more like an individual, not necessarily like a cohesive
Okay.
unit. So, are you going to peruse to see what other things other than the animals are set up?
Because
Are
we've
there
got...
carnival snacks?
Yeah, exactly. Got to spread ourselves out.
You do find some popcorn. They have some popcorn, some meat sticks, that sort of thing.
Good. Okay, walk around food with. Okay.
Yeah. And you do find, some relatively cheap, local bottles of ale.
Blinkers, lads. Remember, make them last. They're festivity ones, so they're a bit pricier.
You're talking about things that are usually, 2 or 3 copper a piece, and they're 5 copper. We're talking about the generally cheap stuff. It's mostly the dad was ordered to take the kids down to the carnival, and he wants something to consume.
Yep.
Mindless snacking, the best kind.
It's the best kind of roasted meat you get, though. From the dirtiest fucker at the greasiest stall.
Yep.
So yeah,
Bjorn is definitely halting. Is definitely having a walk me down while looking for some of the these skill challenge games.
there actually aren't any skill challenge games set up. It seems to be just performance acts.
No.
It's for the wains, man. Come on. Meanwhile, if you're that grumpy, you could always go and find someone to hire a boat. Or you could just enjoy the show.
Wandering up and down, you do notice that you find one of note is you do actually see 2 individuals performing together, 2 women. You do recognize them from the parade. You see one who's playing the lyre, and the other one's got an acrobatic routine that's set for the music, and it is actually quite impressive. You do notice off to the side, there's a guy who's supposed to be set up a fire whip kind of station, and he just looks kind of surly, and he sat off to the side just glaring at them because they have a huge old crowd. And it seems like apparently they've stolen his crowd. He's got nobody there. He's just sitting on his podium, just kind of like glaring at them.
Well, someone else step up. I've been friendly to everyone.
Anybody gonna do anything? Or just, moving on?
All right, chin up, mate.
And he walks off. Don't be so sad.
Yeah.
Oh, this will not help their egos at all.
You're just getting upstairs a wee bit then.
Oh no, you see, here's the thing. They tend to do that. They'll go on for a little bit, it'll be fantastic. They'll go back away for a little bit and they'll consider it their day done. They've already got themselves a bit of an attitude because they're up there on the main ship while we're stuck on the regular ship.
Oh, right. Aye, he does have multiple, that's right.
Oh yeah. 3 boats actually.
So what's your...
the
I've seen the dancing girls before. What's your wee thing you're doing here?
Oh, I've got my fire whip set up.
Did I see at the parade?
Oh no, I wasn't doing that in the parade itself. As a matter of fact, I was just doing some regular acrobatics in the middle.
I thought you looked a wee bit familiar, but I didn't see nothing in your hand.
Oh yeah. I mean, every so often we have to change up the actual acts. Sometimes I even do stilt walking. I do that too. A lot of us do a lot of different things. Not those 2 though. Stuck up brats.
The stilt walkers. I mean, I've got a wee image of Horik on those, Bjorn. That would be hilarious. Like, think about it. Think of his balance. Think about how good he is with his feet. Oh, he could lash people away from like 10 feet.
I don't know. I mean, at least for maybe 75-80% of the time.
He'll do well, though. He'd do well. So, fire whip, the enchantment thing or the old alchemical mix?
No, just, some lantern fluid. You set it up on fire and then, here, let me go. And he lights the whip up. he lights the whip up on fire and does a couple of whip routines, cracking, and you notice particularly when he gives that whip a nice crack, it kind of gives that nice little flare at the end, and the kids are actually quite amused at it. You can tell they're cheering a little bit. And actually, somebody who's not directly watching, give me a perception.
Give me a second.
8, 11. Anybody else?
That's weird.
Alright,
Anyone?
you
There
definitely
you go.
fucking notice. You notice that when the kids are kind of cheering and getting a little bit excited because hey, this is like almost a private show going on for them. You notice that the guy seems to be in a lot better mood, but looking over to the side, you can see that the lady who's playing the lyre tends to be she's giving a little bit of side eye and she's looking relatively pissed off. Like she was not expecting anybody to be ignoring their wonderful show.
I'm going to make it worse, because thaumaturgy lets me adjust flames a wee bit. I'm going to make it a wee bit brighter, a wee bit more impressive. Give it a wee flick of colour on the end.
And as a matter of fact, with that,
I guess
an actual
my illusion some extra sparkles too.
he's enjoying these additions and he's incorporating them in as things go. You can tell he clearly does know what he's doing.
Aye.
And as you all are dressing things up, you actually see more and more people tend to come off away from the other two, and they're coming to watch and they're oohing and ahhing. Ooh, the other two don't seem to look particularly thrilled about this.
All right. We good. We can see you doing all the fantasy thing. Now let's see some rat skill. Picks out the apple like he has. I meant just having it in his pocket. All right. As he puts it on top of his own head. Let's see.
All right. First of all, walk yourself out of the middle of a crowd before you do that.
All right. I guess I'll make it easier for him then. If you don't want some excitement and danger.
Like as he's putting the apple up, Harden is pulling the kids
Yeah.
away, stepping back.
As a matter of fact, yep, he nails that apple, and the apple is mildly charred, but he does not light your head on fire.
Ah. That's the spirit of it. Look at that.
While everybody's been distracted, now Horrocks going to check out the food stalls to see if there's anything interesting in the local cuisine.
Yeah, out here is just the popcorn and the meat sticks, just relatively cheap stuff that you can just nibble on as you're wandering up and down.
Roasted nuts in a
Surely
bag.
there must be something else.
Nope.
I'm searching.
Nope, that's it.
Very basic fare. They live on this shit.
Yeah.
A bag of peanuts the
very
size of you.
I'm very disappointed in Waterdeep cuisine, the street food. Then
Well, just along this section.
Yeah.
You do remember that, yeah, in the trade ward and a couple of the other wards, the street food's a lot better, but it's just here along the dock section. Because everything that they put out, that they probably are bringing back in when it comes nighttime. Because you were in the dock wards at night-ish, and it was not necessarily the most wonderful place.
And yeah, of course,
yes.
once he gets proper notice, it ease off on the special effects. I was only giving them a wee boost.
Yep. And you notice that the other two, yeah, they finish up their routine, they collect their coins from it. They're both kind of glaring a bit, and they wander back off down the dock, and they're getting into a little dinghy, and then off they go. They're going on out actually into the Great Harbor.
That's a fair old paddle.
Well, the actual ship's out there in the harbor proper itself. So yeah, they do have somebody in a boat to take them out. But yes, after eventually the whip guy does finish up his routine, everybody kind of does cheer, they put their coins in, they all wander off, and he goes, well, thank you.
Aye, I mean, the majority of it was your own doing, mate. You just need to have a wee bit of confidence, put a bit of showmanship on. Mind you, it does help to always have people, in a wee crowd.
Yeah.
So good job, lads. You did it all yourselves. Ruffle up the kids.
Well, it was really cool.
It was, aye.
I want to learn how to do that.
Ah, we could teach you. I mean, not with a fire first. We could teach you with a whip.
Yeah, it's a handy little craft. It's relatively fun.
Right. So,
I'm sorry I was in such a pet earlier. Just those two get up my nose.
well, you're probably going to have to look forward to that later as well. Bad enough mood that might make you know about it.
No, they don't. They don't like to deal with the rest of us very much. It's like, well, just because they're in with the boss, they think that they can run the place, and the boss ain't gonna do anything about that. He's a nice sort.
That is a good turn of skill. We've done it once before. Bjorn, he had the lit whip before. It was a bit messier though. We weren't doing, just the wee displays and the twirls and all. It was actual battlement and all. Real nasty smell off it afterwards. Did well though. Didn't burn himself once.
It was more of a desperation maneuver though. Not much elegance in it.
Hey, kept him back though. Right. Good turn on yourself and good job on the head there.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. I'm not doing a lot of that usually, but usually I just put the apple off to the side or whatnot. But I'm glad that you trusted me enough for it. You notice also he kind of pauses and looks over at Kago and just goes, "Oh, where'd you pick that one up?"
Oh no, this one's his. Yikes, come on.
Yeah, I made it.
Oh, where you come from? Usually, we're one of the few people that has them other than, the Gondites up there in their temple. Of course, we picked all of it. We didn't actually make most of this stuff. We've picked it up when we were down in Lantan for a bit, about a year ago.
He looks disgusted at the thought of they didn't even make this.
Oh, one wee second.
We're carnies. We aren't, engineers.
Hang on, Wemo. Raider has done that thing again of boosting your mic. Notice the sound quality was breaking there. No idea what causes it.
Yeah, I don't know either.
Just Windows fucking about with him, I guess.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
At least it's fixed. At least easy fixed anyway. Yeah.
That should be good.
Yep, you're perfect now.
Yep.
Cool.
I'll bump up your volume, in fact. So he was talking about the guns. How they just picked up their automatons. Oh, nah, Gaix made that one himself.
That's pretty nifty.
Has Harton added anything to that, or is he finally buying into it a little bit?
No, he's big. No, we're among strangers, so he's bigging you up. He only mocks you in private most of the time, because that's what friends do. Admittedly, his is a bit more fully featured. It's not just a repeating of action. Coggo here, you could almost equate it to a full living dog.
Yeah, it's actually relatively nifty. I mean, we've got some nimble rights, closest thing that we've got.
Full living dog, complete with coffee maker and everything. Yeah.
Nimble rights.
Yeah. We didn't have it in the last parade. We'll probably have them in the next because we like to cycle things out a little bit sometimes to keep things interesting. Have you seen a nimble right before?
Nah, never heard that sort of thing before.
Think of like a person, but mechanical.
I'm thinking
bit thinner.
Right.
Bit thinner. They tend to operate just, like any other people. They're usually used around the ship both for entertainment and then a little bit of protection too. They certainly know how to use a sword if they have to.
Aren't they supposed to be rare?
Oh yeah, but they're made down in Lantan. That's where they picked them up. And of course, Zord's got a bit of bob, so
he is a wealthy bloke.
Oh yeah. He's got things. He's got a lot of things.
Do they have their own mind, or have they just ordered about?
I'm not quite sure. I know they follow orders. I'm not sure if they're fully sentient. I honestly, I haven't done much asking that's outside of my pay grade.
That's a wee thing we could ask Lord about.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you could also ask the captains if you want. The captains would know, because each one of them, we've got one stationed on each ship, and the captains do order them about.
All right.
Have you met the captains yet? Other than Zord himself, actually.
Nah, just the big man himself.
Why? They've got 3 of them actually. Let me see. We have Fergus Crabwater. He'd be the captain of the Hellraiser.
Of course. Fergus
Yeah, Fergus
Crabwater from
Crabwater.
Saltmarsh.
He's a nice bloke. He just make sure he goes easy on the wine. He does enjoy his drink quite a bit.
I believe that's pretty standard for a sailor anyway, no worries. Even the good captain deserves a tipple.
Now, on the Heartbreaker, we've got Clar Besham. He's not a bad sort. He just no sense of humor. You can't get a laugh out of him to save your life.
Oh, that's terrible.
He spends too much time also with that creepy little pet he's got. He's got this little tarantula that's just a little baby, like always riding around on his shoulder.
There's no harm in a wee speeder. But no sense of humour, what a poor man. Oh.
Now, I mean, I don't know if you're ever going to see... Well, you'll see him if he comes out. He comes out frequently, actually. The Eye Catcher's captain is Tarwin Arihook. He likes a bit of gambling. Usually when he's coming ashore, it's so that he could, have a little fun in one of our seedy little taverns out here, going for a game of cards, game of dice, anything.
To be fair, he probably would have met them more often, except we're all the way up north.
You never know.
We'll frequent the locales a wee bit.
Yeah. They're all relative. Again, I mean, Captain Besham, yeah, he's humorous. He's not like he's a bad bloke, just, relatively quiet.
Maybe he's just a wee bit dry on the humour, subtle ways.
Yeah. You lot probably would get along with, Captain Crabwater, though. Assuming, he doesn't get too heavy in the bottle.
That ain't gonna happen if I'm the one who's holding the bottle.
He'd probably have one of his own, to be fair.
Entirely likely.
I don't expect most of our times you'll be sharing the bottle with just one man.
He's got his own private reserves even in his cabin.
Oh, it could be some fancy labels there.
Well, most of it's actually brought up from... You do know we're all technically from Luskin, yeah?
Aye, we've even seen, One-Eyed Jack? Got a few bottles of that.
Oh yeah, that's usually what he's got up in the room. Nice little tavern up there. But yeah, that's usually what we've got on the ship, even just for us if we have certain rations, because Lord knows you got to pay your people with a little bit extra stuff, if you know what I mean, and he kind of makes the drinking symbol.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Good boss, let me tell you that. I've never been so happy to work as in entertainment. Usually some of the carny guys, they're only looking for a quick buck.
I check his blinking motions. Is he doing Morse code for help me? My boss is great. He's wonderful.
Roll an insight.
Don't care.
You're not sure. Yeah. You don't know.
Seems fine.
Yeah, seems fine. Probably a dry. Seems fine.
Well, are you looking to see if this guy is a drow?
Nah, I don't care. I'll find him when I end up meeting up Lou and somehow trip over our roof.
Yeah.
Besides, I'm sure Lou would tell us.
Yeah, I said I would.
Mm-hmm.
What does Lou know?
Of course not.
Yeah. So, any questions about the fair itself? I mean, I can always point you to things of interest up and about.
Anything a bit that's more turn of full-on magic? Something a wee bit on the arcane.
We don't have any actually arcane. It's just mostly sleight of hand. We have the wizard. He gestures on down.
You got card boys.
Yeah, we have a guy. He likes to do a lot of card tricks.
Point me in his direction.
Right, it should be about, he counts 8 stations down. You'll be able to tell by the swirly cape.
I'm fucking on it. Thanks, lad.
Alright, you have a good one, sir.
Always love to see a new technique.
And if anybody, while everybody's actually enjoying the carnival, we're not really going to go into the individuals at this stage, because, you know.
It's just a nice laugh, yeah.
Yeah. But anybody who's not really invested in the carnival, give me an investigation.
All right.
You said there
Yeah.
was a place to find better snacks, right?
It would be
Yeah.
off of the street, not in the actual
Yeah,
area.
better places to find snacks. Meanwhile, Harton's teaching Squidly some little card tricks while he watches. Now, you see, every time he takes that card, he's not actually taking that card. Let me show you how he's doing.
But most everybody, you're not really picking up anything. Uzana, you actually do hear a bit that's a little bit interesting. You notice 2 of the carnies are off to the side. You know, you could tell they're kind of doing their gossiping and, you know, doing their own little private conversations. And quite clearly, they don't expect you to actually hear them as they're having their conversation. They seem to be talking about actually the sailors on their ship that they're currently staying on. And they were asking you, you know, how often, because particularly down here in Waterdeep, I mean, most ships are actually manned both by men and women. It's not one of those things where, oh, female sailors, boo, boo, boo. So it's usually fairly, you know, common to at least see a couple female sailors going around. And you could hear them, they're actually kind of talking about how odd it is that every single one of their sailors on those boats are men. All 3 ships. The carnies, they have women, but every single people that actually sail the boat are 100% males. Male humans. And then you also notice one of them even mentions, don't they talk a little bit funny? They all speak common, but they seem to be almost like they have an accent. Like they're from somewhere else. The one even makes a hint, like, because, you know what? It's almost like they have a bit of an Elvish accent, but they're all human. And at that point, you all have already wandered off past, and you lose track of the conversation. Unless you want to go back and try to eavesdrop a bit more.
No, but I will. Go
I
ahead.
think we know who they are.
Yeah.
I look at Lou.
He doesn't even speak with an Elvish accent.
I sound like a halfling.
Yes, but because of him, we know of humans that speak who are really elves of a type.
Well,
Cannot
that's.
confirm nor deny.
You don't have to confirm or deny.
She holds up her notes.
As a matter of fact, Lou, you have no idea about this at all. The only thing you know, actually, you do know something, Lou. Are you going to divulge about the one person you know is working on Zord's ship?
Well, I think this would be a bad time to do that, personally.
I don't know why.
I'm not withholding information. I'm just waiting to divulge it.
And they're all watching you, waiting.
Yeah, the question is, did any of you ask Lou specifically if he knows anything about this? Or are you just commenting and just looking at him?
We just assume no. Harton's busy with Squidly.
Yeah, Lou is mostly busy stuffing his face, to be honest.
Every time he's asked the question, he just puts more food in before he's finished swallowing.
I mean, he learned how to eat like a halfling, so I mean,
Yeah.
you know. All right, so eventually, you know, you guys do kind of wander out through the fair. And now the question comes. It's about, you know, 3 or 4 in the afternoon. Do you want to go down to try to do the cliffs now, or do you want to go back and rest up and do it again in the morning?
Kind of just want to get it done. What about you lot?
Might as well. It's been pretty casual today anyway.
Yeah.
One person, roll me a nature.
Not it.
Nature checks. I'm always great at nature checks.
You might be on this character.
I can do it.
Yeah. Rosanna has intelligence.
Yes.
Well, it's already
Yes,
been
he's-
rolled.
It's the best you've ever done.
And Horik,
That's something.
you're not sure if you'd be able to get it done and then back down before nightfall. It's occurred to you that that might be a problem, but you're not sure if you have enough time to do it or not.
It's only night time. We've got light spells somewhere around here, I believe.
Yeah.
I think I've got torches. We can make it back at night, can't we?
It does mean, though, we'll have to trim the group a wee bit.
Oh.
Yeah.
Look, kids, I'm alright taking you out mountain climbing and all. Don't want to do it at night, though. Not with the ocean and whatnot. Gotta get
You know
ex-
what? I'll just take the wee ones back to the house then. You just go out on your boat then.
And
Don't
then we'll
worry
wait
about
for you to
me.
return. You'll be running all the
Well,
way,
I
right?
don't
You can get a lift with Maxine, eh?
You
I
don't
mean,
have-
why don't we just wait until the morning? Because we want to go.
Aye, plus there's the fact that he probably will not want to be annoyed at night. And then we'll still have to sit on whatever he says afterwards, anyway. And I know at least 2 of the group are looking forward to first and second dinners.
But I do like being out at night. The moon is so pretty.
Aye, that's not bad. So I've got votes for nay. 3 small votes. They want to wait until tomorrow. We've got the light and the equipment and all. It's just a case of, is there much point doing it? Whatever, the lad's probably kipping down for a meditation or whatnot.
Yeah, probably best not to annoy him in the evening. How about we stop off at the yawning portal on the way home and get a couple of drinks?
Aye, plus
Yeah,
you'll...
That is the best idea I heard all day.
Now, you sure about that? Because you're discounting your own idea and putting an apple on your head and getting a fire whip to lash it.
Are you crazy? He got to whip my face off. I had no idea what that man was going to be capable of.
Good job,
He
Bjorn.
could be
Good
down
job.
in his dumps because he could have been down in his dump because he had happened to use the whip on his assistant, who was now with 30 degrees burn back at the temple.
All right. So, we'll just go rest our feet at the yawning portal for a wee bit. Maybe get a big rub. Head on home, have a good kip, and then we'll be back out. And we'll have less distractions, right, kids?
Yeah, that sounds great.
There we go, then. Tomorrow we find him dead. The body's still warm.
Who is he?
Well, I don't know if it's a he or she, it's Clam. All we know is it's a monk.
So yes, you do go on down to the yawning portal. I'll just move you there for funsies.
4 trolls climb out of the pit. They say, don't rat us out, man. They're putting helmets on us, sending us out into the streets. It's a death sentence. Just be
And
sorry, I don't speak troll. I'm at you. Ah!
You would. They do speak giant.
Oh, okay.
You could actually communicate with them on a base level.
I'll just pretend I can't understand you. Ah!
Is that some sort of battle wolf you're yelling in giant? Aye, it is.
Put the fear of Morden in them.
Stop pleading for mercy. I can't enjoy it as much.
And yep, you do notice out here. You do notice Mr. Silvermane is over there. And what do you know? Even Yagra is currently here today, enjoying herself a nice little meal.
I just like how huge our little group has gotten thanks to the free kids.
Durnan gives you a nice wave. Bonnie, cheery, hello. If you need anything, let me know.
Hey, well, you know what we need immediately. Some refreshments.
All right, what are y'all having?
You'll cover, Bill.
Yay.
Oh, is Bjorn? Bjorn is not on the here. Let me bring him back. There you go.
Yeah. Is that a new token for one of the kits now?
Yeah, I did switch up some of the tokens at one point.
Okay.
Because one of them had their mask on.
Mhm.
Well, I switched out. Yeah, I liked Jenks's a little bit better with that one, so I switched Jenks out.
Kid looks like he could be a Padawan.
Mhm.
Alright, let's have a wee shift these now. How do you tell a sun moon or sun elf from a normal elf?
And
Well,
maybe?
looking about, you do notice that
A sunny
there
disposition, mate.
is one male elf in the room, and it's this one over here. He's probably a sun elf. You're pretty sure he's a sun elf. But other than that, I mean, it doesn't look like he actually knows Yagra. He's not kind of talking to her or anything.
Arden just with that smug-ass look as he looks at Bjorn with that line.
Horik's going to look down the hole just to make sure that no trolls are crawling up, or if they are, he can throw rocks at them.
No trolls. You do know that Matrim up in the top up there, 3 strings, is playing his three-stringed instrument. There should have way more than that. It's not horrible, not great. Just about average.
Why the fuck does he keep getting billing here? It's one of the most popular pubs in the city.
Nadrax, you know why he's here.
Nepotism.
Because you know he's... Yep, you do. He has another one of those lovely little badges. And you stayed with him for a little bit. He does give you a little bit of a wave as he goes back to playing.
Fucking nepotism, of course.
Remind me about the badges again?
He has the little Harper clasp like you all do. Yep, and you do have Silvermane sitting over there at his table. He notices you all, kind of gives a little nod and goes back to... Looks like he's just eating, but it's more clear that he's kind of looking around and looking for any other adventures. Because there are, people who look to be in adventurer garbs wandering up and down. There's the upper floor as well, and he's keeping track of people. You have a feeling this is a working lunch.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
While the table over here is slowly turning into a kids Chuck E. Cheese gathering.
It's a full family dinner.
Yeah.
It's also great how many of the party are at the right height for it as well.
As I was also pointed out, we also have the animatronic for it.
Yep. With Bjorn, Gadix, and Horik, you guys are sitting equal with the kids on chairs.
Probably, yeah.
Actually, Gadix would be the smallest by a margin.
Smaller, yeah.
Yeah.
Come to think of it, Kago is probably sitting under the table because, yeah, y'all are taking up a lot of room.
Mm-hmm.
You all actually do witness 3 adventurers go on over to Durnan. They kind of pass over some coin. They go over, they raise the lift. They get on top of the lift, and then they go on down into the Undermountain.
Admittedly, I'm a little disappointed. I thought there'd be like a wee... I suppose it's too busy for that. A wee send-off sort of thing.
Well, it happens all the time.
You
even have to pay to go back up as well. There's a little bucket. You put the coins in the bucket, you raise it on up, and Durnan will check to make sure that you got it, and then they let you up.
Oh, no, that's a fair wee sting, that.
What if you lose your coin purse?
Then you've got a lot of walking, I guess. Aye.
Mm-hmm. You better find some down there. And I mean, you usually can. I mean, there's a lot of adventurers that die down there, so you can probably steal their coin purse.
Cheerful.
Nice.
I mean, it's a practical thought the lad has there.
Always soothing to hear.
Yeah, there are a lot of people who think they can go down there, and they really can't.
You can go down there.
Like so.
It's probably a bad idea, because I heard the Mad Mage is kind of, he doesn't like people going into his home.
It's a bit angry about it, maybe. Agitated. I don't know the other word for that.
He has it all set up. I don't know if it's to his liking or not, but all I know is it's all set up.
Irritable sort.
Yeah.
Short temper. Aye.
He's eccentric.
Eccentric. Aye, you've got it. Fuck me, I've got it. Haha!
That means he's got money.
Wait a minute, I got that wrong right, easy.
Remember, people are eccentric if they're rich. They're crazy if they're poor.
Well, I think he's rich. I assume
If he
because
kind
that's
of
why
owns
everybody's
it,
going down.
if he kind of owns a dungeon, then at least develop, at least in real estate, he's rich.
Well, eccentric is usually a little bit strange. Like, for example, he's a normal fellow but wears a monkey on his head. That would be eccentric. But if he goes beyond that, then it's just strange.
I mean, they call him the Mad Mage.
It's a bit of a given that he's probably broken.
Well, is he mad as in? I feel like I've asked it, but is he mad as in insane or just angry?
Insane.
Then he's likely not that eccentric.
I don't know.
Maybe we'll meet him
It
one day.
seems.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe. I hope not.
Hey, not tonight.
He seems very scary.
Oh, don't worry. We'll get you stories about what we did to him. We've met all sorts of weirdos. Oh, right. Recently we've been meeting one sort of weirdos, kind of consistently, in fact. But for all their big pomp and scary, their pomp and circumstance and all, like, we met this drow matron. Now, they're like evil spellcasters. They're the big head cheese honcho sort of things.
Whoa.
She cashed out her hands and gave us this like mystical spider weapon. Got me in a pinch, got Bjorn in one that was for a wee bit as well. Didn't bother my wife. And then Horik ripped himself free, launched himself at her, and she was just, grinning down at him. She thought nothing of him, because he's short, which is a big mistake to make. I mean, thinking less of him, not because he's short. That's not a mistake to make. That's just biology at work. And then came the flurry of fists, and she had no chance against it. Got her right in the solar plexus, which took a big jump. I mean, Drow are kind of short anyway, but he really got the leap up on her. She could do nothing. Couldn't smarm off at him nothing.
That was a brutal thing to watch.
It were, but good.
Hey.
And then Bjorn here made himself massive. You've seen that there. Aye, he's done it a few times. Stomped on after ones. They're Ravi's Drow that they were meant to be hardened killers, assassins. And they ran in terror at him.
That would make sense. I mean, I'd be scared if he was really big and came stomping at me.
I just think of him like a big cuddly teddy bear sort of thing.
Oh, I know. I'm not scared of him right now because, he's nice. But, I mean, if I did something bad, he'd be scary.
Probably aye. Don't worry, though. Because while you answer to him, he answers to me. And that can be a lot scarier.
You'll have to work pretty hard to make me that angry. Usually if you pointed a knife at me. I don't see why you would ever do that to me.
No, we don't do that.
I can, and I've known him for years.
Well, yeah, but that's because you're you.
Exactly.
Right, now let me show you how you do this wee trick now. Take this card. You think that's the card you're giving me, right? That's not it. Try again. And again. So he just shows him a wee sleight of hand trick.
Alright, so y'all have your lovely, lovely food. Is there anything else any of y'all are going to do, or are you going to head back out to home?
Well, I mean, I'm fine here teaching the kids because I'm not under official business. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Yeah, this is Harbor Agent territory right now.
Well, no, there is a Harper, but then there's also, the guy from the Lord's Alliance here, and then there's apparently the Zentarum is also here.
Yeah, that's what I mean. This is Harbor Agent territory at the moment.
Like, if Al Free Strings finishes his set, maybe you could pop a wee question to him. You could also inform him about what you've been hearing. He might
the letter.
But he might have noticed a particular sun elf that might have a familiarity with a lovely lady to the south.
Well, we know we can trust him, so might as well.
Just a suggestion. Right, Nat, go fish.
So, Lou, are you going to go have a conversation with Three Strings?
Maybe I should ingratiate myself by playing music with him first.
Oh no.
Splendid idea. Go have a chat with him.
Now, I'm going to point this out. There's also Horik and Nadrax. It doesn't have to entirely rely on Lou.
I can be the backup dancer and play you guys a nice song.
And Hearton hopes it's not just Lou at this point, I'm sure.
No, he's fine. He's fine giving the lad a chance to prove himself. He's not expecting it, but he's given him the opportunity.
Oh, I want to take all the credit. I mean,
Well, Horrocks thinking back to how terribly persuading a horse. He was a half.
That's the point.
He's not-
The three of them suggest they could do more espionage, and then the three of them, we really struggled against that horse. That was a
And then
battle of
finally
wills we
Lou-
were underarmed for.
So Lou, are you going to go up and offer to play with Matrim up there?
yeah, I'll say, hey, buddy, you mind if I hop in here and play a few songs with you?
Oh, sure. What do you play?
This harmonica, and I'll pull it out of my pocket.
All right. What songs do you know? And you two kind of do a little conversation about what you know. You find out you do have a couple songs in common.
And one in halfling.
All right.
Haha.
Oh,
Give me a performance check.
ah,
Nice.
There is. Get the performance check. Oh boy.
I think you're taking the
Lou.
lead.
Yeah, you do a grand old job. Apparently, Matrim is completely off balance today, though. He's not doing all that great. You can maybe it's the fact that he's not used to playing with the harmonica, but you hit it out of the park. At the end of the at the end of the set, he kind of goes, "Oh, I was not doing all that great today. I apologize for that." But you did a good job.
yeah, it was a particularly good set for me. I think I just kind of, I took over a bit. You know how it is sometimes.
Yeah. But to be fair, I'm not usually used to playing with other people. I'm usually just, kind of idle music as people wander about. I mean, I'm not that great anyways, and that kind of thing. I only have 3 strings.
It's nice. It's nice to listen to while you're eating and everything.
Yeah, exactly. So what brings you about here? I've seen you here before, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I've actually had a crazy few days. I think we might have something in common now, and I'm gonna pull out my my little Harper badge.
He kind of gives a little bit of a wink. Seems so.
I was here with a couple of my friends, and I'll point to Horik and how do you say his name? Nadrax. There, yeah, Nadrax. And we were actually just on a little bit of a mission from our boy Mert, and we found out a little bit of info about some people in here. I thought you might be able to tell me some more.
I can try. Who are you looking for?
If you're familiar with the half orc Yagra, right?
Yeah. She every so often gets in a little tizzy with a couple of the Xanathar boys.
Yeah. Well, our friend Maxine told us that she was with a sun elf. We didn't get much more than that, but they traveled together here, and I thought you might have seen them.
Sun elf. Davil? If I'm, can you give me the description?
Sun elf. Average sun elf build, sun elf features.
Yeah. You give the rough description, and he just kind of nods. That sounds likely like Davil Star song.
Davil?
Davil. Yes, that I have very little doubt that that's who we're looking for here. I do know he does have some Zent contacts, which would make sense. If you want, you can always put that up in your report. Both of them are usually here quite often. I think
Okay.
he's actually here now, but upstairs.
It's just one of the like an in room or what?
Probably. It depends. Sometimes he's drinking up top. Sometimes he's got a room.
Okay. Well, I think we should do anything else for this report, or is this good enough for now?
Well, what were you asked to do?
Just get some information from Maxine about Zent agents.
That's probably more than enough. I think you probably well past what they were asking. They'll probably be very pleased.
All right, great. I'll write all this down and drop it in the post.
All right, and he kind of gives you a little clap on the back. You have a good rest of your day then.
Yeah, I'll see you around.
And he gets back to kind of strumming his little songs. Much better than before, by the way.
Kind of question the Harpers suggesting, your covert information, send it through the public post system. Maybe Mert was a little deep into the wine when he suggested that.
I mean, it can be written in code.
It's fine. It's illegal to open up a letter if it's not yours, and they wouldn't. They probably would actually. No, never mind.
But yeah, this is not something that's top secret, 10 out of 10. So it's not like it's an emergency thing. So is there anything else anybody wants to do here?
Cut the rope. They're not coming up.
No, they'll be down in there for a while.
There's certain local colour. Would like to take a wee diversion. Like, it's probably about a little past dinner time or something by now.
Mhm.
Want to follow up on the inquiry the wife had. Because we're heading...
Spider-Con.
Exactly, because we're heading back that way.
Certainly. So is everybody else going to be heading that way?
I suppose so.
Stick with the
Mhm.
party.
It's not required. I mean, we're in the city. It's probably quite safe.
Not to mention, Lou, you have an inkling you might be getting a visit.
Oh,
Because it
yeah.
is getting to be
Yeah.
nighttime.
So make
Sorry,
sure to
want the
wear your
suit back?
pajamas this time.
So
And
who's
we will
going
make
with
sure to have more traps prepared.
Exactly.
That's the thing. A couple of you guys might be just relishing the chance here.
And
You're just looking at
you
that
have
clock
to be there
ticking.
to see. You want to see the attempt as well, probably.
And didn't Railroad have a list of materials? How many of those do we have time to pick up?
You probably have got time to pick things up before he arrives.
We did want to add another thing. A live skunk.
Right, remember, lads, this is just a little bit of a cooperative testing of his abilities. It's not to cause harm. It's not to cause maiming. No permanent marks. No tattooing.
No, just some smells and colors.
You probably don't have time to pick up the skunk musk today, because that's going to be a little bit of searching to find. But some of the other general odds and ends, like feathers and tar bits, stuff like that you could probably find.
Ah well, we'll have more than one opportunity, I suppose. Oh yeah, and the jar of wasps.
No, that's a bit far.
I mean, this is right outside my window, I will point out.
That too, yeah. It's also outside your window, Nadrax.
This was the list I made.
Yeah, I have a feeling that the jar of wasps, he would not be thrilled with that one.
Aye, no
I mean, tar and
wasps.
feathers is a classic.
Small amount.
I,
A little
What
amount,
about honey
okay?
and feathers?
Not enough to cover him, just a wee bit to know he's been caught, okay? None of this, no lube or slippery oil on the edges. We don't want him going past the balconies. Like, that was a bit of a hurt for him, so we don't want that, okay? We're doing this good-natured, slightly cooperative thing, okay? Swill perfume, fine. Music box, be careful with the tune. Don't want to wake everyone up, after all. Sticky confetti, a small amount, because he's still got to get back to wherever he came from. Alright?
Oh, actually, the music box makes me think. What about like a Jack in the Box? Try to just give him a jump scare.
Only if you paint it to look like me or Bjorn. Actually, just make it Bjorn.
You could also put the sticky confetti into the Jack in the Box so that when it opens, it shoots out.
I don't know why he's going to crank the handle. That'll be a trick you got the guys to pull off.
It'll have to be attached to a tripwire that actually moves the handle.
Look at Gatix there. Look at him scribbling.
Anyway, do we have a rough hour when he would arrive?
No.
After dark.
After that.
So good. Right, good luck, you all. For the love of fuck, don't hurt him. Don't make this too much of a big deal. This is a test, okay? This is a
Just
nice
hurting his
thing.
ego.
This is some competitiveness.
I was considering to cast Silent Image to cover up some traps, if possible.
Oh, that's
That
good.
is- yeah, that's a good one. So who's going with Uzi and who's going to the house?
I'm going to the house. I have traps to prepare.
Yep, house.
Horrick's going to do a quick trip off to the Harpers to actually relay the information we have.
So you're going to go
Rather than-
down to Mert's house.
Yes, just quickly.
All right. I will cover you first then. Roll me a D100.
This is his alcohol to blood ratio.
He's not in.
Oh dear.
Does he have a servant he
well.
could leave it with?
Nobody answers the door.
Yeah.
You could probably shove it under the door.
I don't think that's a good idea.
It's better of a public post. I mean, it's probably not too bad. If they can get into his house, they can probably get into his letter slot.
Yeah, and also you don't know who's going to pick it up, unfortunately. Maybe I'll try early tomorrow morning before we get out to the cave.
All right. So before we deal with the saloon show. All right. So for Uzi and Hurton, you do get back onto the Blackstaff. They are willing to let you into the library to try to look at the spells. If you're looking for Spider Climb, they do have it.
Very lovely.
Ooh.
And
Is-
this time at least, they'll let you copy it over for free. They're not going to charge you. You just have to pay the normal, bit to actually get into your book.
That's very nice of you.
Mm.
It's fucking better than one silver PCs.
And it's 100 gold. Do you have enough?
I've been splurging a wee bit, love, I'm afraid. Apparently we do have a reserve of cash, though, that I forgot about.
Well, I mean, how much do you have on you?
As he brings out 2 coins and rubs them together.
I'm just at 60 myself, so I need a little more.
I've got a wee bit in the funds and all. I just didn't keep it in the normal coin purse, because I think we got like 550 in reserve.
And, you still have the 100 that Zord gave you to put into the business.
Also, is the thing with the drow coming to break into the house is that going to be a thing that happens a lot in the future?
I reckon after probably the 3rd time it happens, even this good-natured boss will think, nah, we'll just do it simpler. This is taking a bit too much time. Although he is one for a joke I've seen so far.
Then let's carry it on. Do you also have Glyph of Warding?
You do, yes.
Oh, very good, very good. Okay, well, then we have that option later.
Oh, you've got a real little spark in you, love.
Oh, yeah, Hurton, are you carrying the 100 gold from Zord? Because theoretically, you could just dip into that, because if you have 500 back at the house.
Yeah, aye. I'll make use of that. That's a lot of different coinage.
Yep, and that is a collection of coins from a lot of other places.
I swap out my 2 dragons for something fancy I like. It's got a nice shape to it, come on.
Alright, are we heading out tonight or tomorrow?
Oh, we're gonna go tomorrow. So it's nice and bright, we can take the kids, it'll be safer in general.
What time is it, roughly?
This stage of the game, by the time you got over there, it's just about to go dark.
Do you think we have enough time to do that tonight? No, that it would take a
I
while.
thought you were going to focus on the scrolls. Oh, right, you
That's
are.
what I
Right.
Yes.
Bugger.
You
Aye,
do know that it doesn't seem to be closing.
aye, well, don't forget we don't have to worry about keeping up a watch or anything like that there. I'll carry your back if you fall asleep.
All right, then I'll work on it tonight.
Aye, we'll get some hours in.
Mm.
Excuse me, do you have a spare chair?
Well,
As
you notice
Harton does the
around.
as Harton does the incredibly helpful thing of sitting beside her. Because he doesn't have a spell book, he doesn't have anything to scribe, he just thinks about his spells.
Yep. As a matter of fact, they have a lot of chairs all around the table, so you don't
Ooh.
even have to ask. There's one.
I don't suppose there's any
Alright,
like wee fiction books or something. A man could learn a
No.
wee bit of history, maybe.
Now there are history books in the library. Give me an investigation.
A man should always be reading up. Or reading sideways, whichever's comfortable.
You do find one that's brief kind of history of Waterdeep, light level reading. You could tell it's probably one of those entry level book things.
I'll go through this about 4 or 5 times.
Mhm.
Thank you greatly.
All right, so yeah, you do copy it over without incident, and you all are heading back in after dark. And roll me a perception for both of you.
I guess Harden probably has light cast as well as to make his way through.
Well, actually, you don't even need to do that because actually the
Street
streets are all lit
lamps,
with lamps. Yeah.
Together we
Harden,
make 20.
Harden, you do notice this adorable white squirrel. Very adorable, and suddenly it takes off as it starts getting chased by these two little cats.
I've got to do it. I've got to do it, love. I've got to do it.
You have to do what? Oh, save the squirrel?
Alright, save the squirrel. Off he goes.
Okay.
Just to grab the moggies.
You're darting on down this alley after these two. Uzana, are you kind of standing there on the main street or just kind of,
There
popping
we
down into an
go.
alley to wait?
Well, I'm gonna follow.
Perfect.
Are you following at pace or are you following kind of slower, just kind of meandering to follow?
I'm at pace.
Okay. Yep, you do have a lovely interaction with the cats.
I
They are
will.
not happy with you.
I do thaumaturgy ahead of him, so it sounds like a dog barking, and I'll throw him off.
Why did you do inflict wounds then?
Just for a laugh, to see anyone's reaction. I'm gonna
Did you
save this
actually-
fucking squirrel.
You
The
are a
cats are
monster.
kind of flailing around. They kind of run about. They're
Oi,
trying to scratch you on up.
go on, easy you lot, go on, piss off. Off you go.
You do notice a couple of people down the alleyway start kind of crowding in. They're kind of watching a little bit.
Oh, you not seen a man chase pussy before? Probably not always two at once. Yeah, no, go on, you rat and mangy things, go on.
Uzana, give me a separate perception because this is a different role entirely.
All right. 17.
You do notice a shadow out of the corner of your eye up on the rooftop that's looking down at you. And it kind of pulls back when it thinks that you've probably seen it.
Hmm. Hmm. Well, that's unsettling.
You right, love?
Because I assume because it's rather relatively cold at night right now. You've got your hood pulled up and kind of snuggled up under your lovely cloak and stuff. Yeah.
As Harton throws one of the cats over a fence. You alright, love?
It just feels like. You ever feel like someone's watching you?
Aye.
Like
quite-
someone that you can't see is looking at you?
Aye, since we entered this city.
Not a comfortable feeling.
Aye.
I mean, you are a cleric. You are being watched by someone you can't see all the time.
Yep.
Yeah, but clerics kind of trust that person
Aye.
or being.
I know it's a wee bit to get used to, but I've got a wee feeling it's probably benign enough. In this case.
I hope so.
Well, it's because we're near home and all. It's well past our. I think it's him. If not, don't you worry. We'll sort it out. Oh, that wee squirrel's all right.
You did see the squirrel ran off in the thaumaturgy thing, so you think he's probably okay.
I'm gonna get in trouble for something like that and again, I think. Open it. I'm gonna find out one of these cats was a bloody lord in disguise.
Well, he would have turned back then after you'd picked him up.
Oh yeah, run to his personal guard. That's what he does to get his rocks off. Alright, let me scoop you up and we'll head on home a bit more gently. I'll try not to be so distracted.
It's alright. Just make sure you put me down if you're going to chase off again.
Always. Or I'll sling you over my shoulder and walk faster.
That would be more efficient, but could you at least sit me up on your shoulder?
Oh, aye. I'm getting practice in that now with the kids.
Alright, that'll do.
So, for my homebound crowd,
for the McAllisters.
what have you set up on your roof for your poor old drow friend?
This is how we're going to end every session.
How many things can we install reasonably?
He didn't trigger too many things.
Yeah, so for the
Didn't
most
trigger
part,
anything.
And some
No,
of them
he-
are easy to reset, like the tiles.
the only thing he triggered was the tiles both times.
The man at the guild hall called these caltrops.
Can we send this to Wizards of the Coast? A new tower defense game? Stop Saloon?
So you could probably do the illusion to cover a trap or two, and you could probably do the tar and feather, or one of the
You get
if
one.
you acquire tar and feather, or like the glowy paint trap or whatever.
I mean, you know what I'm gonna vote for here.
I mean, that one is definitely up to Gaddix. He's gonna
I
be in
want
charge.
I want to see feather. I want to see feathers fly. This is something I'm.
I was more inclined to see if we could get sparkly confetti and cover them in sticky sparkly confetti.
Silent images can cover a 15-foot cube, so actually a lot of space.
Let's go back home, love, to where our free bonus children are and the rest of our fucking kids are.
But yeah,
So,
I mean, this is the size of a small child.
stars and feathers and some sneezing powder.
There's
How about
probably
that?
one escapade where Gaddix has indeed posed as Harton's kid.
Well, you would have time to do tar and feather, and cast the illusion to hide some of them, or the sneezing powder, either or.
Okay, towers and feathers.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
the classic.
posed as your child, but I didn't shave, so everybody's questioning things.
What do you think? He looks just like me. Look at that beard. We just had it
That's a
fluffed and styled to look like Harton's.
That's a proper Northman's child right here.
Northlanders,
Created
we
right
mature
out of the
early.
womb.
Gotta keep the face fuzz on, you see, it's very cold in there.
Right. So, while this is going on, you all do settle down. The married couple are not back yet.
Nope.
Somebody roll me a D100.
Ooh, me. I won't do it.
Oh,
You
we already
don't.
have an 85.
But I got a 99.
Okay, both of you. Roll me a D20. We're gonna decide which one of your rolls wins.
Ooh.
Gaddix's wins.
Yeah, Gaddix did twice as well as him.
Mm-hmm. So,
1-1.
Yeah.
y'all are kind of waiting. You know what's coming.
They're all fucking waiting under their covers, head peeking out.
Looking for
Hort's
Santa
busy in
Claus.
the kitchen.
Bjorn has a kettle going.
So,
They're just sitting up there giggling. Just...
it's very quiet. It's very quiet. And then all of a sudden, you hear that fucking tar and feather cannon going off.
Yes.
And Gaddix is on his feet.
Everybody, gather around, please. Santa's here.
You hear that fucking tar and feather trap. You hear a slew of cursing in Drow, Lou. You don't know what any of those words mean, but you have an inkling.
Oh, come on.
They're
He's probably
not
heard
good.
some of them before.
Not he hasn't yet. Well, you all have actually. He has not.
We've had a lot of us directed at us before.
Yeah.
And yeah, Lou coming in through your window with feathers sticking off all over him and looking like he's ready to fucking strangle you.
Oh, is that why I left those?
He made it inside. That's an achievement.
And he's holding up one hand. You see, he's got his hand actually on his pistol. And the other hand is pointing at you. And just goes, really? I'll have you know, your stupid little illusion trap didn't do shit. I saw all of those.
Clearly.
That's the part that didn't work.
No, I saw those. I went over every single fucking one until I got to the end here.
Well, yeah, I didn't doubt that you were capable, Saloon.
Lou, do you want to double down on being a shitlord? Do your hand gesture for friend.
Oh. Ooh, but I should do the other one.
I taught him that this means peace among worlds.
Lou, do you use the incorrect friend gesture?
Oh,
He will fucking shoot you, and that's not something uncommon for your characters. To get shot when my character is absent.
Yeah, but Gaddix has this. It gets you.
It's fine, yeah, I know.
Is
So
the rest of the party here by now? I mean, I assume Gaddix was running up.
Yeah, I'm here. If given enough
Like
time,
four
yeah,
people pressing on the door.
I would have left the door unlocked.
because I want to see the results of this trap. You know, scientific research, of
I
course.
do as well.
He is glaring at both of you as the door opens and he sees the two heads pop out.
Grinning.
One very low, one very high.
Partial coverage.
You dared come into Red Shale House. The greatest
You
fraternity.
see a bunch of. You finally see the hand comes off of the pistol, and he's just. And you can tell he's talking to himself because he knows you can't understand half the shit he's signing. But you do see that very special gesture for friend pop up in that conversation. Directed clearly at the two grinning idiots.
Hey, Gaddix, did you account for wind speed properly? His left side seems a little bit bare.
Yeah, only partial coverage.
He walks over and he goes to slam the door in your face. He doesn't care if your face is actually in the door. He will actually hit your face with the door.
I try to keep the door open, propped open with my rifle.
Your gun out? What?
I
That's a
think you've
gun.
got to let him have this.
He goes to push the rifle out the door and shut it.
I relent. You know.
I could
Slam.
help.
And then he locks the door.
I
And
can
he
help with
whirls
that as
around
well.
on you. No doubt.
So, yeah, partial coverage, scribbling stuff down, walks back to his room. You know.
Along with the big letters,
You-
success.
Green check mark.
Are you
Sufficiently
done with your fun little
humiliated.
games?
Next time we should try that something glowing. Also, can you maybe add some sound effects? Like, congratulations, you found the trap.
Actually, right around this time,
Congratulations.
you two actually do show up at the house.
Oh, I'll grab a
Not
wee
that you
cup.
can tell.
Yeah. I'll grab a wee
Well,
cup
if you-
before I go up.
If you want, you can give me a perception check.
Sure, we probably saw the feathers just sailing down the rooftop.
I was gonna say,
That-
you
that's
saw
the thing.
something, yeah.
That is the question to see
I
if
think
you
I
saw
did.
the feathers. You saw
Yeah.
the feathers. Not very many, but there was a couple white feathers just wafting.
Right side, love? I think it was benign. I don't know if it still is at this point. But it's our dry mate. Can't believe we got him a second. What? I guess I thought this guy was meant to be, good at his job.
How loud is he saying this?
Well,
I'm
I mean,
back on
they're
the
all the
first
way up.
floor, yeah.
Yeah,
I
he
can't,
can't
like-
hear.
Damn, because if I could overhear this, I'd be like, he hit them all.
Oh, he did not. He only hit the tar and feather.
Oh,
But
okay.
he saw it coming this time.
So
Well,
we'll have
see-
to rearrange the others.
He was actually so focused on avoid because he saw through the illusions. So he went over those, and then at the very, very end, he slipped. And by the way, not on the oil. You didn't have oil there. He just slipped. He was so focused. He was like, I'm almost done. Thank fuck.
Ah, you dumb bitch.
That for his spotting them, he got a 17. He just can't roll. He just can't roll a fucking dex.
Did well.
He tried.
But Lou, he's not particularly thrilled with you.
No.
But you are going to sit down for some lessons in Drow. He's going to actually start mixing the language into it as well, so you're getting both the hand signals and the Drow language on top of it.
Well,
Give
he's
me an
covered in-
intelligence.
Well, he's speckled in feathers.
Oh, he's constantly picking at the feathers as he's trying to do this teaching.
At this
Oh,
point,
And you
yeah.
learn.
Lou, you should be
You are-
you should be saying like, is that part of a hand gesture? That where he's picking the feathers off? If I pinch my
There's too
wrist, does that
distracted.
mean a syllable?
There's no way he can focus after that.
Yeah, but that's where the problem comes in. Is just neither of you two are really into this right now because the feathers.
If you want, there's a bath downstairs, man. If you want.
I want to be away from here as soon as possible. If it was up
Yeah.
to me, I would not see you again ever in the entirety of my life. And I have several centuries of my life ahead of me.
Yeah, at some point, I think we're gonna get that, and we'll never have to see each other again.
Oh, I hope so, sooner rather than later.
I hope you come every night for the next 3 years.
You know what?
I don't think he said that bit to be fair, but it's hard to tell.
You have not processed anything tonight. We're going to call it early. I think I'm going to go.
Yeah, I'll study up on my own for now.
Oh, good. Please. Please do. There is nothing I would enjoy more. And he gets out the window. And away he goes. And surprisingly enough, you don't hear anything else. It seems like he's actually figured it the fuck out for a change.
Aww.
No, we gotta really change things up now.
I mean, he actually rolled a 19.
Nice.
All right, we have to increase the difficulty of the.
Yeah,
Yes.
he actually got himself a
Increase the number of
23.
times. I think we should probably set a whole day aside just to fortify the roof.
Well, I mean, if you all come back after the cliffside, you might actually have a full afternoon.
Could just imagine them conferring this on the steps up to Lou's room. As the married couple are at. Well, you got him again? Aye, I saw that.
Would you like to get in on their antics, honey?
Oh, no, I've got more important things to do.
Well, yeah, but I think this would be right up your alley if you're interested.
Nah, I don't want to make it too hard for him, because I know a few wee things, and you know me, I'm not the most subtle when it... Like,
I'm gonna whisper something to him.
He's starting to smile and grin.
I just look at Hart and trust me, it's not that hard.
Like, he's got the idea of it. Oh... You're a devilish tempest, you are. Better than those succubi ever were.
Uh-huh.
I've got an inkling to take you in a manly way after this, but first, I've got an idea in my head now, thank you. Maybe. I'll give... Lads, we should probably give it a rest for one night. Right? Dismantle it all for tomorrow, and then the next day, freshen it up. Alright? Netherrax, Gaix.
I'm okay with that.
We give him one peaceful day, call it a wee truce. Plus, he won't be expecting it. He'll be nervous, he'll be paranoid.
But I throw you a wrench. You're gonna help me take it down.
Oh, don't you worry, I don't need this. Oh, Aye, that. I mean, I still don't need to. I mean, Shatter's pretty effective. Aye, don't worry, I'll take it. But we'll do it tomorrow. We got some things to do.
We can also use the time to assemble things in the rooms. You can't see it and install them later.
Oh yeah,
Good
'cause I
save
bet she's
time.
gonna be watching now.
That's a lovely idea, Olaf. I didn't want to join in this like he's grinning ear to ear. It's gonna just let our kids have their fun.
I'm giving you a side eye when you say kids.
You fucking know you are.
He's almost middle-aged. Damn. I'm not an apprentice. He's not an apprentice anymore.
You've eaten at my house more often than your own. Because someone's too busy to cook. Got to invent, got to fix.
No, he lives in a cargo down by the river. Yeah.
But it's night time, lads. Everyone to bed. You've had your fun.
Huh.
Yes, father. Yes.
Aye, Father Glenbrook. Chosen of Valkyr, you've got that right. It's the thing, it's appropriate to call him father.
Yes, that was the joke.
Well, I mean, did you get all the references that could be possible with the, you know? I mean,
Good night,
As
lads.
long as you're not calling him Daddy Glimbrock.
No, that's just for Rosanna.
Why would you say that?
That's just for the wife.
I hate everything you have just said.
That's why I said it.
Fuck.
Anyway, so yeah, you do all bed down for the night. You have a magical night. Dreaming of chicken drow.
Yeah. I was
All right.
also wondering that maybe not the jar of wasps, but could he like it if we replace it with a jar of spiders?
Oh god.
That would cause issues for a drow.
Oh yeah, that would.
That could be too far.
Particularly this drow.
What about a
Don't get me
jar
wrong.
full of smaller jars?
Most of Breaking the Earth isn't necessarily the most religious, considering they're male drow, but I mean,
You don't want to see a spider. You just don't. It's just bad to get any attention her way at all.
To be fair, we could also just make spider-shaped confetti instead.
So we have what, the 6'7", 6'6" Dragonborn with the safety scissors sitting with the kids at the table in the common room cutting up confetti spiders. While Gaddix is plucking several cheap chickens he got at the market, and then Horrick's taking the carcasses away to cook.
It's like an assembly line.
Does one of you know the web spell?
No.
We might. We're not using it for that. Good night. Sleep tight. Don't fucking bug us in the morning. Think we should call it for a night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
the
Yeah,
only
we're
thing
about
that I
at the
will
3-hour mark.
mention
Yeah.
is in the morning you will have people pop up and ask for the rest of the payment if you want to open the bar.
Because yeah, you're saying we did have like some nebulous stockpile of cash.
Yep. I mentioned that you had been paid in a lump sum that went into joint because I don't think I remember you all didn't divide it all up.
Yeah. So yeah, we can open the bar tomorrow. But we probably won't, just because we've got things to do. But don't involve setting traps up.
Well, the only thing you'd be doing is you'd be paying to finish.
Yeah,
They'd finish the work on the bar itself.
Yeah, finish the work on the bar, get it stocked for a night.
We have to plan the grand opening too, though. That's got to be a whole thing.
After all, Zords did say he wanted to pop on by.
Alright. Then I can ask him about both the axe beak and the oil bear eggs. I'll raise them as brothers.
All right, I gotta be heading off because it's getting real late and I gotta go to my nephew's birthday tomorrow. So
Yeah.
Have a good time.
today.
Have fun.
Yeah, I will.
Yeah, see ya.
So sleep well, everyone. I'm gonna head off.
Yep. Gonna kill the stream as well.